Are you looking a little puffy over there today, Tim? Or what's going on?
Seems like it.
All right. Well, we're doing our first video edition of our podcast. As you can see, Andrew's finding the mix a little not mixed tonight. And we got 3 of the 4 small town guys tonight. And we also have our first female guest officially to join the show. Leslie is with us tonight. Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
From the youngest generation to ever.
Youngest generation, yes.
That will ever be on the podcast.
Well, you never know. Maybe we can bring in kids one day, or
wow, good luck
go
with
around
that.
to the elementary school, or
Okay.
So Sarah, you're Gen Z,
Yes.
and then there's still Gen Alpha that
No, Natalie would be Gen Alpha.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to Natalie?
I mean, she's got lots of interesting opinions and stuff.
That's true.
I don't know how many are accurate, but she's got the opinions.
She just says words like I do.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
that's all any of us do. If you listen to the podcast, that's all we do is say words.
Exactly.
So Sarah's question, what is a woman?
Oh, God.
start off with the controversy.
Start out with the flashbang.
Just dropping bombs already.
Yeah.
I see there's deflection of the question.
We could only speculate. I mean,
It's up for debate.
yeah.
It's up for debate. So yeah, no, it's good to be back again. We're actually made it our 2 weeks. We're on schedule for this release. That's a bonus.
Well, we tried to be on schedule last time, and you guys just didn't want to talk to me.
Well, you didn't want to be here last time. And we were on schedule for the last one. It was the one before that was just terrible.
I mean, the one that you didn't show.
Yeah, that one's going in the secret files. That's when we get the Patreon set up, that'll be
you can sponsor us on Patreon and get access to the terrible, terrible video that is like.
We'll call it the full refund video.
Get all the outtakes.
Well, our weekly ones are so amazing, so you might as well have to pay for the crappy ones.
We set that bar right.
So what's been happening, Tim? We haven't seen you for quite a while now.
Well, I see you every day. What are you talking about?
Okay. We haven't seen you at the podcast for quite a while.
Well, technically, nobody's seen me at the podcast. Nobody's seen any of us. Just putting
First
it out
time
there.
for everything.
This is what I talk about. I deal with this shit 10 hours a day with him.
Yeah, well, you can send him back to South Africa. I mean, that's what. The news
then
of
we
late.
got to go back to doing the work ourselves.
Oh yeah,
It's okay.
so you bring in immigrant labor, right?
Trump's just going to bring me over that side anyway. Then.
Yeah.
You think you'd be used to it?
Which actually, maybe there's a good point to segue into is, so you've obviously heard about South Africa and Trump's little bombshell that he dropped on, is it the president? That was there. So
Yeah.
I mean, what as a South African or an Afrikaans, what's your take on this?
Well, it's like I said to Ange, that I think the South African president didn't realize that evidence isn't just a name of a person in South Africa. Other countries use that for other reasons. So pulling up that video, that helped.
That was kind of let's go to the tape, Cotton.
I will say this, though. He didn't really have a look of shock on his face at all. Like, he just kind of like,
Yeah, they don't really care.
It's like you're literally calling for genocide of kill the boar, kill the farmer, whatever's the rest of that chant goes.
Yep.
And he's just like, okay, yeah, you caught me.
Yeah, and it's pretty common.
Yeah.
They,
So, what's their? I was going to say what's their plan, but I don't think they have a plan other than try and get rid of the white farmers. Like, are any of these people taking over these lands? Like, is there still?
There's a lot of different stuff happening. I mean, there's different parts of the country where farmers are just getting taken out left, right, and center by thousands of them. Some of them are their own workers, actually, that live on the farms and they've been there for years. They sometimes actually not hire, but talk to their friends and that type of stuff, and they say, listen,
Kind of get worked up and talked into it, and
they basically kind of infiltrate them. So there you go, that's where they're at. Go get them. And some of them, the government actually just said, no, you know what? If we want to, we'll just take the land. You guys can leave. Wow. So they don't care.
Well, and it's not even just the fact that they're taking their land. It's not like it was some judicial process and they're having a kangaroo court they're taking. It's like, no. They're coming in the middle of the night, brutally raping, murdering, and some of those horrific tortures you can imagine. and then then taking over the land.
Well, there was one where it was an old woman living on her property, and she was doing some gardening during the day. One of her staff was doing gardening during the day, and that night they left her gardening fork outside, that one of those, like hay fork type of thing. And during that night, a couple of guys came in, grabbed that, and she's an elderly woman, grabbed that and ran it through her on her couch for a jar of change on her counter. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
like it's a speechless kind of thing. Like, what do you even say to that? Like,
Well, what's funny for myself and the wife and a lot of South Africans, we've seen what most of the world doesn't understand, what rioting is, and what all that kind of stuff is. Like where people are protesting, woo, yay, protesting. In America, their protests are like, wow, it's like 5 people doing this. And by us, they'll take down the entire main street, thousands of them.
yeah.
And they'll just trash the place. They'll break into stores. They'll just destroy things. They'll hurt people. They just go.
So what
it's
you're
insane.
saying is they don't set up bouncy castles and have pancake breakfasts for the homeless. They don't do that.
Sometimes they do,
Oh, okay. I thought it was only a Canadian thing. Okay.
but that's at these rallies where they're wearing those red shirts.
Right.
Like that January 6th stuff that with the US.
Yeah.
That's mild, very
yeah.
mild compared to anything that.
Yeah, I remember seeing some footage. What would that have been, about 4 years ago now? They had where they were, they were actually having gun battles in the street and they were trashing the malls.
So there was one. Dunlop actually left South Africa.
That's what it was.
Because they basically took. South Africa's got, obviously it's not a huge place, but it's an entire pretty much province they took over.
Yeah.
And they ransacked everything from shopping malls, major stores. I mean, they would essentially go to a place, for example, like here you got Walmart, there we got a place called Game and that type of thing. And they pretty much emptied out the place. Took everything they wanted to, brand new fridges, everything, and they burnt places down. They burnt malls down. They ripped places to shreds. And I mean, it's literally like watching a swarm of ants coming over an anthill, just running down and just going insane. And they were just going crazy. And people obviously on the opposite side were kind of, okay, enough now. So they stood there, barricades, roadblocks, all of that kind of stuff. And then they started backing off, a lot of them, because you are very outnumbered over there.
Yeah.
But they were still very lucky. Like back in my dad's day, it was a town of a couple hundred people, held off a couple thousand of them with a couple shotguns and homemade shotguns and pop guns, just to, so right, as soon as that came out, they were all like, gone, dispersed.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a touch and go thing there.
Huh.
But they are very, very vicious a lot of the time. But on the other side, you had the taxi drivers, which for the most part, we don't like them. But in this instance, they protected the town.
Oh, okay.
Taxi drivers?
Yep.
And what ethnic group or nationality are they?
Same as them.
Okay.
But they were obviously backing up the town and helping the cops as well.
Yeah.
Backing up the town and everything as well. So that was...
And what was the, I guess it's going to sound weird, what was the justification or reason for that? Like, why were they supporting of the cops and the borders and all that?
They were just protecting the town itself and the income, I suppose.
So did they face any, because did they face any retaliation from their own groups or anything like that?
They do to a point, but also taxi drivers a lot of them are big gangsters as well.
Okay.
And so they kind of have their own thing going on. Sometimes your taxi drivers, actually, they don't give a shit about cops. They don't,
Yeah.
Because they've got their own mafia, basically taxi cab mafia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, there's even cops that own their own taxi fleets. There's, people in government, the same thing. And it's literally like your own little army as well sometimes. And it's quite insane.
That's weird. I can't see why you wanted to get out of there so bad.
No, it was so loving and cuddly.
What about, is the enclave, was it Lesotho?
Lesotho.
Do they face similar things, or there's just no white people there, or what is that? Well, I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
They've got their own thing. They're pretty much their own little country.
Yeah, but within South Africa, they're an enclave or whatever.
Yep.
Do they have similar problems? Are they killing off?
They've got their own issues as well, yes.
Okay.
But you don't really have as much of that bleeding out into our sides. A lot of issues that they pick up is from like Nigeria, Zimbabwe, those places, and they clash quite a lot as well. But yeah.
So I mean, I'm correct me on the history here. How did Lesotho get to be an enclave within South Africa? Like, what was the?
I actually don't know the history on that.
Oh, okay.
No, I never really cared to look that deep into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my focal point was, airplane, go away, bye. Now, look, there's a lot of history in all the different directions. I mean, a lot of the growth of the country came from the British and everything that came and took over, the Dutch, that type of thing. But the problem is the locals have the idea of everything was taken from them, so now everything belongs to them, and that's where the land issue and all that comes up, where the government will take the land and give it to those people, versus who owns the land at that point. And also the big problem that you have is the whole racist side comes in a way of the people that are there now were never there during the time of apartheid. They were never there during the time of all those issues. They're living on the coattails or the history, pretending like they are so oppressed and they are this and this and this again.
Well, I thought even then the people that are there, the black people that are there now weren't even there. They came in from Zimbabwe and from further.
No, there was from down south, from KwaZulu-Natal, and that.
But I thought I thought there was more native people that were there, and then they got wiped out by other blacks.
They're from all over. They're from North Africa, South Africa, all over the place. They're from down that way. But something that I found for the most part is your older generations that were actually there during that time. A lot of them are actually they'll actually sit and talk to you. They don't have the issue. It's more their kids and everyone from there on. It's the same as like now in the US, where everyone's living on with the racism there and everything, and Black Lives Matter and all that and whatever. It's all the youngsters. It's not the older generations. They are a lot more chilled because they went through it.
Yeah.
A lot of the older generations in South Africa too, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of them will actually say that it's worse now than it was back then in a lot of ways. Not in total, but in certain ways. It's very funny is that the racism has switched completely the other way around, but in a very aggressive and amplified way.
Yeah.
But they portray it in a very different way. And the unfortunate thing is all the younger generations now, you must give. When they ransacked everything and they destroyed all those businesses and on all of that, I mean, they burnt down the entire Dunlop warehouse that side, and that thing was huge. Yeah. That's all. And Dunlop's like, bye, I'm leaving. Yeah. Okay. When they were interviewing people there, they said to them, okay, so what happens now when everything's gone and you guys don't have anything anymore? I know you must give, you must bring more, you must put more stuff there. It's okay, you must bring. Okay, but if everyone takes it and steals it again? No. You must bring, you must put. That's the mentality. Yeah. It's always going to be given, and they must because everything's owed to them. Yeah. When they did nothing. But again, there's also those factions and parts of like that Malema that you saw in that video. He instigates. Yeah. And pushes them to do stuff like this. There's parts of that particular party that goes into different locations and places and hires people to amp everybody up and get them into going to do these protests, going into to do all this stuff. Yeah. And they get very violent. It's dangerous. I mean, there you live with burglar bars on your windows. Our place had burglar bars inside and outside. Yeah.
Yeah, double set.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. And a lot of it is it's the system of creating that dependency on the government, right? I mean, you see that even in Canada here as well, where it's just, well, you've been giving it to us for so long, you can't stop. You have to give us more and give us more and give us more, and then you've got generation upon generation that's now dependent on these government handouts. Instead of being able to actually go and do things for themselves.
But also the masses aren't educated. The ones that are educated, they move out of the location. They move out of those places with all these. They go and live in the normal suburbs. They become normal doctors and things like that to help and do things around like everybody else. They want to get away from that. But the ones that aren't, unfortunately, there's just so many of them. And they just keep multiplying and no actual education of everything and the full picture of what's going on. They just get fed that this is what's happened. White man is bad, and you must hate in this and this and this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can't do anything about it. And it's in every industry. It's in every place. It's insane.
Well, it's the media, the government funding the media that's controlling the population with the message that they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we see it here in North America too. Like everywhere you look, it's all government sanctioned, paid for media advertising, basically, that's pushing the narrative that they want.
Yeah. Well, the government that side, when it comes to elections, they send out food packages to like the locations, and they give food. They do this. They give little money grants and stuff. Mm-hmm. But only way that they can get it is as long as they vote for this party, and that's how a lot of it just keeps adding up.
Yeah.
So no.
Buying
Fun
votes with the government's own money.
Yeah.
Canadian government's pretty much a pro at that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're seeing that all the time. It's just
Except they don't even follow through. I mean, they promised water on clean water or drinking water on reserves. I think that was promised 10 years ago by the Trudeau Liberals.
Still hasn't happened.
That you can count the number of reserves that have actually had clean drinking water rectified, I think, on a couple of hands, maybe some toes. And yet there's even more reserves now that have fallen into further situations with no water.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think if you had to pick one subject that pretty much everyone in Canada could get behind, it's like, yeah, okay, we're going to spend, millions upon millions of dollars to fix something, that's just really a handout where, most Canadians would be like, yeah, okay, get them clean drinking water. Like, I don't think anybody's really opposed to that. Mm-hmm. And yet the government did nothing to fix it over the 10 years.
It's because they're keeping all that water in reserve tanks.
No, but I mean, literally, it's like you're
terrible.
Like, you're telling me you couldn't get some of these engineering firms out in Ontario in the the manufacturing sector to essentially build shipping container style water treatment plants that you couldn't just fly in to none of these places and hook up water connections.
Most of these reserves have full water treatment facilities.
I think there's a lot that
they're just not maintained and operated properly. They don't have the staff to, the properly trained people to take care of the equipment and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's funny. Can you imagine if we actually, took, say, $500 million that we're, sending overseas and put it into our own country's problems?
Yeah, instead of sending that money to Ukraine.
Instead of solving other people's problems, rebuilding another country, we could, maybe rebuild our own. Mm-hmm. Just saying, it's a wild, crazy thought. Just throwing it out there.
Thinking outside the box, yeah.
I know.
So you mean instead of paying for transgender surgeries in African countries, we could pay for roads and infrastructure in Canada to remote communities?
Do you really think that money's going to surgeries?
No, I didn't know that was an option.
How about instead of giving people drugs when they're having issues, they actually have mental health professionals available to counsel people?
They do. He wears a red shirt and stands there.
We're even talking about food security. We've got shipping container farms that essentially you can have now. Why not, create the infrastructure, fly those up to some of these reserves? You look at food prices basically anywhere near the Arctic Circle. It's absolutely brutal, especially when you're talking fresh vegetables and things like fresh fruits.
Yeah.
You fly up a bunch of shipping containers. You have a generator type infrastructure because solar doesn't work so well up there in the wintertime. And you instantly reduce the cost of your lettuces and your fruits and things like that, strawberries.
Yeah. Use factory farming technology and do it where it's actually beneficial.
Yeah. Things like that. I mean, if you're going to be throwing billions of dollars away for lobbing more missiles at Ukrainians or at Russians. We could be, flying up shipping containers instead of flying over missiles.
Yeah.
Makes us sound like France.
I know, right? Just all over the place.
Just like sending more things everywhere, and then all of a sudden you're in debt.
Yeah, and then your entire country is screwed because you spent all your money on shit that doesn't matter.
And then you're passed around like you're a football, practically.
Yep. Yeah, I'd make a sexual comment, but it's probably not appropriate.
Yeah.
I had to subtly laugh inside.
I heard it. I heard you subtly laugh.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. You were talking about the British earlier, and I think they probably did some pretty terrible things. I'm not saying they were perfect, but they came and terrorized the place with infrastructure and railroads, and it was railroads to go and extract, to go to mines to extract resources, but those railroads were still there. They, hospitals, universities, so they didn't burn malls down. They terrorized them with Western civilization, and I'm sure some atrocities along the way. I'm not trying to whitewash it, but they left a legacy of infrastructure, and that goes for other places in the British world as well, India and things like that.
Oh yeah, everywhere the British Empire has been.
Yeah.
Most of what they did was pretty shitty. However, there were some positive outcomes from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think slavery was that bad.
Yeah. Well, it brings up another point, though. So LeBron James was getting, all hot and bothered about, I think it was reparations, and talking about the slavery history of the United States. And, basically I think he was promoting, reparations should be made. It's like, yeah, but your family immigrated from Jamaica. Like, your family wasn't even here in the U.S.
Yeah.
to be one of those people that would receive reparations.
Yeah,
and a similar thing, like the families that were around then. Well, how would you dictate who gets that money? Like, first of all, there's many, people that are black today that were actually, descendants of white, plantation owners for obviously rape reasons. But it's like, okay, well, how do you compensate them?
Yeah.
How do you thread that needle of what that reparations would look like? And none of the people that committed those atrocities are the ones that would be paying that today. And how do you account for the fact that you had, I can't remember, was it almost 1 million soldiers died in the North fighting the Civil War?
Yeah.
Or hundreds of thousands.
Whatever it was, yeah.
Look, they made a killing.
So they paid for that debt in blood, right? They literally had people dying, white people dying, to save and enfranchise the blacks in the southern U.S. states. So how do you account for that sacrifice that was paid in blood?
So any of the, somebody like LeBron, like, is he going to part with his millions and distribute those to his poor downtrodden brethren, or is he going to...
you need to implement like a white tax.
Ah, gotcha. So it's not just a rich tax, it's just a rich white tax.
Well, white rich tax even works better, right? Because,
gotcha.
What's worse than a white rich person?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no rich black people at all anymore.
I haven't seen any.
Not in person, anyways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those millions that you guys are sending over there for the gender studies, those are all getting used on cars and houses, and not for all the local people. It's mostly the people that you've just sent it to.
Sorry, I was trying to turn off my
Notifications.
Buffering.
Look like you're struggling over there.
I am struggling.
Notification settings.
I am always struggling. No, I don't know where the video went.
Been there.
No, I don't even think I'm recording anymore. Now we're recording.
Hey, welcome back.
Did you put film in your camera?
Whatever. We end up with
It's okay. They can look
some
at us.
background noise. They're going to have some background noise.
Yeah, we'll do snippets. Yeah.
So what's new with the youth of today, Leslie?
The youth?
The youth of today.
I don't know what's new, honestly. I just watch TikTok and...
You just doom scroll like the rest of us and...
No, I've gotten good at not doing that recently.
Oh,
yeah? I feel like I've spent less time on TikTok now than I did like a year and a half ago.
Well, that's a bonus.
You're a better man than me.
Yeah.
So, have you heard the theory that TikTok in China is actually like a micro-learning environment as opposed to doom scrolling of, dance videos? And
Oh, really? Like,
it's like an entirely different
informational
algorithm
stuff
that
on
runs
there.
the app and essentially just feeds the youth of China, positive messages where they learn things as opposed to like, how to do this fancy dance.
I didn't think that TikTok was actually allowed in China anymore.
Well, I guess
they
it'd be,
removed
what is it now? It's Red?
Red Note.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah,
Note.
I'm on Red Note, and they're very positive over there. They were so friendly when TikTok got banned.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, they were so friendly.
It wasn't banned here.
Hi, Americans, come teach us, come be friends. Come teach my child. She wants to learn how to speak English. She wants to show you how she makes fish. Well, okay. Look at my cat.
Okay. kind of weird shit.
But as you go in, it's just be friendly. Everybody wants you to be friendly. Be nice to these people.
Yeah.
It's actually part of the terms and conditions. You have to be nice and be friendly. Be generous to people.
It's terms and conditions on everything, though, and nobody follows it.
Action forces.
So what's led to this less amount of time on TikTok? Was it a conscious choice? Was it just something you just got bored with it? Like,
I don't know. It's like after a while, it's just the same thing, and after a while, you realize it's like you're losing your life in an app where everything's just like stupid. Basically.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we were talking about last week too, right? Like, how much time do we lose every day just doing pointless shit?
Oh, yeah. Because it's so like, sure, like, I feel like I saw a thing where it was like TikTok is used more as a search engine than Google now or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it's close to beating it.
Gap there that I'm not aware of.
Wow.
Or I saw something. It was like TikTok's really moved up in like a search engine. So like when you open TikTok, if you can't find something on Google, you'll open TikTok and search it, and you'll find info, even if it's bad, even if it's wrong.
What kind of? So I'm completely a different generation here. I don't even have TikTok, but. What would you search on TikTok that you wouldn't find on Google? Like, I need an example.
Very oddly specific things.
Like, is it cultural references or
it could be
how to fix a dryer type videos, or that's just my YouTube channel?
I wonder if it's more of like a confirmation bias kind of thing, right? Go to TikTok to find videos that support your point of view on things, right?
Or is TikTok beating YouTube? Maybe I don't remember.
Well, I just don't know what you would search in TikTok. My understanding of TikTok is
it's like if you search on Google, like you said, or not on Google, on YouTube, how to fix a dryer.
Yeah,
you're gonna find videos on how to fix a dryer. But if you search it on TikTok, maybe you could find videos that are shorter.
And they're fun.
For how to fix a dryer.
And unlike the recipes you Google, it's short
a little more entertaining.
Yes.
I could go for that.
Because that's also why like Facebook has Reels now and Instagram has the TikTok feature and YouTube has the TikTok feature and
man, I remember when Instagram used to just be static photos.
Oh yeah.
I remember static photos too. You had to flip through them. Once you got it developed.
To the page.
Yeah, and then you had to wait for grandma to like get her film produced and put them into the binder.
Yeah.
And everybody got to see your photos before you did.
Yeah.
The guy at the minute photo is making copy. Ooh, I like that one. I can keep that copy for myself.
It's the last time I take shirtless photos.
No, it won't be.
Just get them printed somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. You're on a poster for the 60-minute photo guy. He's got a poster of Tim.
Spread eagle.
Oh, God. I don't want to think about that.
So what other apps are the youth of today using besides TikTok? Like, it seems like a old man reference of what kids are using.
Some kids use Twitter. I'm not calling it X. It's Twitter.
Yeah, it's always Twitter.
It's ridiculous. I refuse to call it anything other than Twitter.
I think Gen Alpha is the only one that calls it X. And Elon.
I call it X just to denote the difference between when it was left wing and right wing.
I prefer what everybody's been calling it, Twitter, formerly known as X. It's so much easier to say that whole sentence.
Like the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
I know Tumblr's popular, but that's for specific. Like,
I tried to get into Reddit, man, and it was just...
I have Reddit.
It was complicated as shit to be able to try and like actually post stuff.
Yeah.
You have to have like so much karma and like... It was, I don't know, it seemed really stupid to me.
It was like when you Google something specific on Google this time, and you get like the actual Reddit, like link to Reddit, and someone asking a question like somewhere near you.
Yeah.
And it's like no answers, basically.
And Substack's also starting to grow quite well.
Yeah, it is.
That's also supposed to be
I've noticed a lot more traffic coming on Substack.
Notifications keep ba-ding, ba-ding.
Yeah.
I always thought Substack was for like university professors.
Or
it was big in the intellectual community, maybe.
It may have been originally. It was geared more towards writers.
Okay.
Whereas now it's starting to, you're getting more video, you're getting more podcast content, stuff like that to go along with the writer.
But they're all kind of done the same thing. They're like LinkedIn and Snapchat, and all of them kind of just started following the same route. I mean, Facebook's doing the same thing. Like you said, Instagram, same thing.
Yeah.
You know, they're all kind of trying to compete with each other now. So
they're all doing the same. There's nothing to actually keep you on one more form of media versus another, right? Because they're all, like you said, doing the same thing now.
Mm-hmm. All trying to get as much view or most audience, most whatever.
Yeah, try and capitalize on that advertising revenue. And
poor CNN sitting there in the bottom of the bucket going, well, anybody out
I mean,
there?
Outside of bars and airports, does anybody watch CNN?
I don't think anyone can even spell CNN anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, unless that bar has been etched into the TV.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's much airtime going on with that.
No.
Yeah,
because even the boomer generation, they're not watching CNN. They're watching CBC or CTV or Global in Canada. You know, Fox or NBC or ABC in the States. Like, I don't...
SNL.
Yeah.
You just throwing out
The World Today, or what's that one?
SNL is more accurate than most of these anyway.
That's true.
Has its moments.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't watched SNL since... Fuck.
I think
like the 90s.
Yeah, I think I was about there too.
You know, Toons is the driving cat. Wayne and Garth, you know, like
it's been a while.
Old school shit. Chris Farley living in a van by the river.
Yeah, that's been a while. It's been a while. Huh.
That and SN. I don't know which came first, Saturday Night Live or SCTV.
SCTV.
SCTV was first.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, that's pretty old.
Didn't SNL just have their 50-year thing or something?
Well, that's what I heard something about that, but I'm like, they weren't around in the 70s, were they?
Well, that would have been like 75 if they had their 50th anniversary.
I'm pretty sure they just had their 50th.
When did SNL?
Well, because SCTV was around in the 80s, so maybe they are older then.
Robin Williams was on that too, way back when, but he was still quite young. That was before the
Mad
rope
TV?
incident.
How long was
October
Mad
11th, 1975.
Wow, yeah. Look up SCTV.
Was the premiere episode.
Huh.
Wow, that's much older than I thought.
Huh. Thanks, Jamie.
No problem.
Yeah.
And then SCTV was 76.
Oh, so not by much.
11 months later.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Point is, you were wrong on both points.
Mad TV? When was Mad TV?
Oh, Mad TV? That came out in the 90s.
And it was only on for like, what, 12, 15 years?
Yeah. Yeah, 95.
Oh, wow.
Do you notice the old guys?
Yeah. No, sorry, we're reminiscing here, okay?
Yeah. But Mad TV had Spivers 5.
You were 10 in 95?
Not that old.
Different generation. Mr. Gen X.
I keep forgetting how young you are.
Yeah.
I just have a question. When they started doing the first wheel, what was that like?
It was pretty cool.
I'll have to ask my dad that one.
That was pretty cool. The first one was square, though, so it just kind of dragged.
Oh, so it fit the Chevys real nice.
Yeah, it looked great in the wheel wells. Looked great in the wheel wells.
You gotta let that go.
Did you guys hear about that Chevy recall and all their...
With their 6.2 liters, the L87 engines?
Yeah, like that's going to cost them billions.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that could...
bankrupt them.
That could put GM out of business.
It's okay.
Well,
must go buy it.
I almost bought one of those trucks, and literally, Jenny was test driving. It's like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right between that and then the transmissions on those same trucks are equally as shit. Yep. So it's like, and they haven't really lost the lawsuit on that part yet. Like, that's crazy.
you need like a 2024 GMC truck with a 2008 GMC engine in it.
Well, and then I was getting some service work done on my 2017 Dodge Ram, and I was at Great Canadian Oil Change. And
hashtag flexing.
Yeah, well,
just brag about it.
Got a good deal on it, and I was like, oh, okay, can I get the tranny flushed as well? And that's not a political joke or anything.
I don't call them that anymore.
And they're like, no, Chrysler says that it's a lifetime non-serviceable unit.
Oh, it's like a CVT transmission.
Because I couldn't find the dipstick for the tranny fluid.
You did. He was. If you look in the mirror.
Yeah. You buy him a coffee first. So anyways, it was just like this absolute, like really a lifetime transmission. Like, so that's for the lifetime of the transmission.
Yeah.
Not of the vehicle. Of
a transmission that still has a filter in it.
Yeah.
That still collects particles.
Yeah.
from the daily wear and tear.
Yeah.
But you don't need to replace it. Because we're going through the same thing on Leslie's Mini.
We recently had this conversation.
So you don't have you don't have tranny fluid?
No, her Mini has the CVT transmission in it. And it's a lifetime non-serviceable part.
Oh my goodness.
And it hates me.
I looked into how to change the fluid in it.
Basically, rip the whole engine out. And
you got to drop the subframe. There's no drain plug per se.
Basically, you split the housing and then drain it.
And then you fill it through a bolt hole on top that attaches it to the engine. That's where the fluid goes in.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like a multi-step process just to get the fluid levels right.
Again, we should have Slap an Engineer Day because whoever designed that shit, that is just ridiculous.
I'd be down for that.
I would pay for that.
I had to change the low beam headlight in my new truck by 2017.
Dodge Ram.
Yeah, Dodge Ram.
Laramie edition.
Just saying, all the servicing and changing you had to do?
Well... it was a burnt out headlight. Like, it's not a big deal. Except on a Dodge Ram it is, because you have to take off 10 plastic clips, and then it was 4 or 6 bolts. So you have to take the whole front grille off. And then you have to go in through the fender well, take another 2 plastic clips off, flip up a plastic tab, and then you can pull out the headlight, and then it's got another 8 screws that you have to get off the back of that. Then you can change the bulb.
Then you can pull the bulb out.
And I was just like...
I'd drill a hole in the front.
I literally remember my, it was a 2002 Saab 9.3 Turbo. I could reach into the engine compartment. It was a little bit of an awkward twist. You put your arm in there, you screw off the back housing, you pull it out, you change the bulb, and you screw it back in. No tools required.
Yeah.
I remember my Golf, my buddy's Golf, all we had to do is literally change the oil. If you really want to do, you just take off 4 bolts, take the engine out, put it on the table, change it, pop it back in, and you're good to go that afternoon.
Yeah. I just, again, Slap an Engineer Day, because that was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Most engineers, and I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, but I know offline I've mentioned it numerous times. I think engineering should be a 5-year course. You do your 4 years of university, and then the final year is spent working in the field that you're going to be engineering in.
I think they should do a year first, working in the field. Then go do the theory. Then go and do another year or two, doing practical.
Kind of like an apprentice almost.
Yeah, so they can learn where their fingers are going to get bashed.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either.
Yeah.
I mean, to some respect, sometimes they have co-op programs, but then they're learning with other engineers that designed this shit in the first place.
Yeah, well, they're looking at the 3D design of the part that they're making. And it's there's lots of access to get in there. Mm-hmm. Not when it's pressed up against the fucking frame, there isn't.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't send mechanics in the same process.
Well, no, we would just beat up all the engineers.
That was exactly my thoughts.
All the time. Yeah. We'd get kicked out because we'd be beating up the fucking engineers all the time.
First thing about Engineer Club. Take that eraser, change it up. Don't make me.
Yeah, and then you just go have a bunch of zip ties that were cut off sharp in there. If you can't do without a drop of blood getting out,
yeah, you got to put.
You didn't design it right.
You got to take all their drawing equipment, put zip ties that are cut off sharp around.
Cut
each
them on
one.
an angle.
Yeah, and then stick it inside the pencil case, which the pencil case is then zip tied to.
Yeah,
and then hide that under the desk behind the bolt,
inside of the starter under the oil pan.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a 2001 Nissan Altima. In order to change the starter...
Yeah, you had to remove the intake.
No, I think you had to drop the tranny.
Oh, that's possible too.
Or it was something crazy. Maybe it was not a 2001, maybe it was a 96. Anyways, my uncle had one. And it was you had to drop a major component. You had to drop it was a transmission in order to change the starter.
The Lexus V8, the VVTi, same thing. To get to the starter, it sits underneath the entire intake. Yeah, it's the whole. Yeah, you
pull the whole upper intake off the car,
the entire everything, and it's why?
What a good positive development though is I heard that they are finally allowing the removal of the automatic stop-start systems.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so I think it's in 2025 going forward. It's no longer mandated by the the California emissions board or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So you'll finally see that feature going away because that has to be the most asinine thing.
So annoying.
Stop your vehicle every time you stop.
I hated it in our Durango, but in the Jeep,
it's better.
It's better because instead of using the starter, there's a giant electric motor sitting on the top of the engine, and that's what spins the crank to fire the engine.
Yeah.
So is
it really, pretty instant?
It's instant, and it's actually really quiet.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I find it much less annoying on the Jeep. On the Durango, oh man, made me so angry. Yeah. And because you turn it off, but it only stays off until you cycle the key, and then it's back on again.
Yeah.
It's like the seatbelt reminders. I hate that you can't disable seatbelt reminders.
It's funny. I'm sitting there driving and Andrew's going, what the hell is wrong with you? You really are like your father. I'm like, what? Bing, bing, bing.
You just don't even notice it.
I'm getting to that age now. I can turn shit like that off in my head.
It was funny when we had the 2010 Jeep we've got. It was the last year that you could fully disable, well, the seatbelt reminder, but you could fully disable all of the traction control settings in the vehicle. And it was a stupid thing. They called it the steering wheel dance because you had to turn the key to the run position and then turn it like left 5 times and then right 5 times and then turn the key off and then like do it again twice. And it was a stupid process. But once you got it, it shut everything off.
Uh-huh.
So I did that, and Tilly took it for a drive. And I mean, she's a farm girl. She grew up on a farm. She's used to driving old vehicles. So she took it for a drive, and she comes back, and she's like, and I'm like, I mean, I can turn it back on if we, and she said, don't you fucking dare. It actually drives like a real goddamn vehicle now. Because now you can do that. If you get in the mud, you can spin the tires and clear the tread and keep going.
Yeah.
The new Jeep, you hit the button, turn off traction control.
It's still there.
And it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good up to like 30 miles an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if the vehicle starts to fishtail, it automatically kicks back in again.
Oh, it's annoying.
It's like,
sometimes
I know how to drive.
Especially when there's a button to disable it. Like, if I'm hitting the button to disable it,
it's like
allow me to disable it.
It's like using the red key in a Hellcat.
Yeah.
If you use the red key, you're accepting all responsibility.
Yeah.
So if I turn off traction control, I'm accepting all fucking responsibility.
Yeah.
Don't babysit me, okay?
Or have various levels. Like if you just hit the button, it's semi-nanny state, and if you hold it for like 5 seconds, then it's off.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to do a steering wheel dance.
The Fords had that. If you held the traction control button for like 15 seconds or something, it would do a second chime. Mm-hmm. And then it stayed disabled until, the next key cycle.
Yeah. What about somebody with Parkinson's?
Then maybe they should be driving.
Then they get that Microsoft, I see you've held down the key too long. Would you like to enable disability assist or whatever the fuck they call that?
I'd say the only thing I hate about the new Jeep we have, the newer Jeep we have, is when you're shifting into like park and drive, it's too smooth.
Okay. You need that chunk.
I do, because when you guys were on vacation, I was trying to wash the Jeep.
Yeah.
So it'd be clean when you got back.
Yeah.
So I took it in town here to the car wash, and there was a snowdrift in front that I got stuck in. So when I was trying to back out of it, I kept going into park instead of reverse.
Oh.
Because I was moving it forward.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
When I went to flick my eyes to see like what it went into, it would hold on reverse for too long.
Yeah.
And then I'd be stepping on the gas.
It's just revving and you're not going anywhere.
And I was like, why am I not going anywhere? I'm in reverse. And I look down, I'm in park. I was like, what's happening? I got people yelling at me. And it was not fun.
You need the old school. You need to get like in the Firebird we got in there. Like, you go, you put it in reverse and, oh, God.
Well, it's like in my car, it clicks. Like there's actual, like it's movement.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very smooth on the new ones.
Oh, yeah. I hate it. It's terrible.
I hate those push button ones.
I've got the rotary dial on mine.
I was just going to say, the dial, terrible. The buttons, worse.
I mean, I think there's a safety feature because I almost at like 100 kilometers an hour on the highway
went to
go turn down the radio and damn near threw it into like reverse and park. Yeah. I mean, I didn't because I was just about to, and I'm like, that was... But I mean, I think there's a safety feature that you can't just grenade your transmission. At least I think so. I don't want to test it.
One way to find out.
No.
Next podcast. So on my new Dodge.
Yeah.
Mistakes we learned on our last Dodge Ram.
Yeah. Although for Jenny's benefit, because there's no transmission stick in the middle there, you can now have like compartment you can fit a giant person to. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's like a carry-on luggage fucking suitcase space.
Actually, it's probably bigger than some carry-on luggages that Ryanair is going to give you or something. But and I heard they finally approved, speaking of airlines, stand-up seating on short European flights.
Oh, really?
For like Ryanair and things like that, where they basically have like a vertical backrest and you just stand there because some of the flights are so short that. Yeah.
Interesting.
But why would you want to stand?
So that you could fly to like Europe for like $20.
But I mean, they got all those like high-speed rail and stuff over there too.
I think that's why they're doing it. They're trying to compete. And a lot of times people stand on a train.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Is it any different than standing on a train or a bus? It's probably actually smoother.
Well, I mean, when you're going up and you're standing in the plane, I feel like that would be... If your
back is going forward, you just, oh, God.
Yeah, like...
I think the up isn't bad. I think it's the
down.
It's like when you go up, your back's against the thing, and when you go down, your front's against...
You're like falling into the lap of the person in front of you.
Yeah,
exactly.
They must have some cushioning at the front. Or just
or they got the whole domino effect.
You like press forehead to forehead.
Actually, that might exactly be how it works. Is the dominoes as they're going up, everyone goes falls back, and when they come to land, okay, everybody in the upright position, please make your way to the door.
Maybe it's like
it's
Frankenstein.
Like a game of human-sized Guess Who. You tilt the whole board.
Maybe they got the seat belts that go around the shoulders and then the waist and then the legs. Yeah,
it's like a ride at the X.
Like strapped in like Frankenstein.
Yeah, slingshot ride.
Well, I think because they were doing safety tests on it, and they figured it proved safe enough. So,
well, I mean, really,
if you're having a plane crash,
if you're crashing from 30,000 feet, does it matter where you are on the plane? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, if you're in front,
I don't think it's gonna matter.
Apparently, if you're the best place to survive a plane crash,
a different plane.
No, near the tail.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because then you're the last person where you got some cushioning from the people.
Yeah, you kind of, it's like crumple zone, right?
Yeah, well, and the engines are in front of you, so when they explode and whatnot, I guess, I don't know.
Well, the engines usually break off and...
Yeah, go their own way.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's best place to survive in the tail section.
In the tail section, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, that's what...
First you have to convince them to let you in the tail section.
It's true.
Wah, wah, wah.
Hey, you want a rim shot for that one?
Yes.
Rim shot for your tail section. I broke him.
I'm picturing that.
Don't picture it. Don't picture it.
I'm picturing being in the tail section of the plane. Okay, not like that. I'm picturing about everyone else that shat themselves. Now you're sitting in all that shit back there. You survive it, you're gonna be a little scarred.
Yeah.
Well, you can be scarred.
I was gonna say,
come on,
more than one way.
Frick. Yeah, I don't know if a high-speed train crash is any better than a plane crash. I mean, you're still going along at 300-400 kilometers an hour.
I don't think there's been too many high-speed train crashes though.
No. Actually, I think the safety record on the high-speed stuff is actually pretty high.
Yeah.
What's the limit that trains are supposed to go in speed in general?
I think it just depends on the tracks.
Well, in China, they've got some maglev stuff that goes, I think, almost 500 kilometers an hour or something.
Yeah.
The stuff in Europe, I think, is around 250, 300 kilometers an hour.
If I'm not mistaken, there was one that was doing some. I don't know where it was. That was doing about 700 k's. I might be wrong though.
That might be the Chinese one then, because I know they have the maglev, so it doesn't even touch, so like friction's not.
Yeah, that's the new one where they can actually amp it up to ridiculous speeds.
Yeah, I mean they're just limited by.
I know if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about when they were doing the one for in the Arab Emirates where they were doing that the line where they're building that thing. That thing was supposed to be super fast in there as well.
The Shanghai Maglev is currently the world's fastest passenger train, reaching a top speed of 431 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. Boom, I was close.
Yeah. I was closer. 400 to 500. So.
Yeah, well, I was sitting at the back of the train, okay?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The way when I asked that question, I didn't even consider trains out of what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the ones here in Canada go 90 kilometers
They
an
go
hour.
50 in town. And they go 60 else when they get out of town.
I think in some parts they can go faster than that. I think they can go 80. 90.
No, 60. I think 65 mile an hour is their
mile an hour, which is
their maximum speed.
Yeah, I was thinking kilometers.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. So
yeah, they're Canadian company. They measure everything in fucking.
Well, because everything's measured mile markers, right? It was built that way, so. But
Yeah, I forgot fancy trains existed.
Yeah.
I
mean, why we don't have high-speed rail between Toronto and Montreal makes no sense in this country.
Why we don't have high-speed rail across this entire fucking country?
Yeah.
Economic-wise, I can understand that, but at least in like the Golden Horseshoe and like the major population corridor in Canada, maybe Calgary-Edmonton through Red Deer could justify it. But I mean, from Toronto to Montreal would absolutely make financial sense. They get enough riders. I mean, Via's got their railway that's busy all the time, but yet nothing gets done in this country.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know.
I can tell you why we don't have it in South Africa.
You get stolen?
They steal the tracks. They're literally going, they steal the tracks.
Wow.
I mean, they'll go put up brand new or even just old new power lines, and the next morning everything's gone. The poles, they encase the poles in concrete, so they go and bash the concrete apart. They bury the cables, the fiber optics, all these different cables. Actually, they've switched mostly to fiber optics now because they can't do anything with it. But all the old copper cables, everything, they hook it up with a truck and they pull it out of the ground.
Yeah.
Wow. They steal spools of this stuff. Don't ask me how they do it. We lost power to our town for, I think it was almost 3 weeks, because the pylons, they stole all the support beams. They climbed up and stole them. So the one day they all just went...
But what do people even do with those?
Scrap metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sell it for scrap.
Yeah. They make
It's like the
livings
meth heads
just
going
on
and
that.
stealing the copper pipes out of houses in North Central.
Yeah, but us, it's you don't even need to call it meth heads, just copper pipes. Gone.
At least it leaves you with a really funny story.
I've heard that's why a lot of places have switched to PEX. Because you can't scrap PEX pipe, right? Like,
yeah, well, most of the switching to PEX was because economically it's way cheaper. It's easier to manufacture. There's minimal risk of contamination. You don't have to worry about people using lead solder on the copper pipes and that kind of thing, which I don't even know if you can get lead solder anymore.
yeah, but doesn't copper have like antimicrobial properties and it makes the water actually better in some respects?
Yeah, but we don't talk about
And
that.
you don't have microplastics floating around in your drinking water?
Microplastics are good for you.
Yeah.
That's taboo.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, at least we're not throwing fluoride in our water out here in Wolseley, so, all good.
Well, not yet. I mean,
Wow.
I think
We might
town
get
council
there.
get run out or run up, depending on how you want to phrase that one. If they
Have you tasted the water here?
Hey, it doesn't have fluoride. It may have every other trace mineral, but
lots of minerals in Wolseley water.
Ever tasted the water in Regina?
I have. Yes, I lived
Yeah,
there.
it's great.
For many years.
It's really great, isn't it?
It's actually not bad. I don't know.
Depends where you are, because I've tasted some bad Regina
Yeah,
water.
I've never been a fan of Regina's water.
It's going to sound... Winnipeg's got really great water, but they don't even get it from the province of Manitoba. They built an aqueduct like 110 kilometers so they could get it from Ontario.
What a flex.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was built in like 1905 or something like this.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Fancy.
a gravity-fed aqueduct, 110 kilometers. It's like a Roman aqueduct
It's like
style.
some Roman shit.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
And when they built this thing in I think it was like 1905, Winnipeg had a population of like 50 or 60,000.
Yeah.
They built it big enough to handle a city the size of 750,000.
Wow.
They seriously over-engineered the fuck out of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it actually won, I think it was like Engineering Project of the Century at the time it was built. And then they just recently redid it, I think a couple years ago, and they twinned it and put another one right beside it. But yeah, Winnipeg's got, for a large city in North America, some of the cleanest and best drinking water.
That's crazy to think that even now, 2025, and you're still using an aqueduct to move water.
Because, hey, you don't need pumps. It's
Mate,
fucking
once
free.
the alien
Yeah, I
showed,
know. It's
Why
brilliant.
fix it if it's
but
not broken?
Yeah.
once the alien showed us how to use it, now we use it the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of the other technologies that we got going on.
Have you guys, the Romans led the way on that shit, right?
Have you seen Google's new VO3 AI?
No.
Holy shit. You've watched those AI generated videos and
Yes.
you're like, oh, yeah, it's an AI generated video.
Yeah.
And you've seen some others and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an
It's
AI
getting harder
generated
and harder
video.
to tell, I will say that.
It is fucking hard to tell. I can't send it from my phone right now, but I sent one to Tim earlier and I even showed it to Jenny.
I was going to say. We were
And
talking
she's
about
looking at it,
this.
she's like, well, no, that's not AI. That is 100% fucking AI.
Wow.
It is insane.
And that's what's released to the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stuff that we have access to.
It is scary to think about how fast the development in AI has literally been over the last 5-10 years.
It's because people train it.
Well,
yep.
and then the learning. AI is training the AI, right?
Yeah.
So it's
whatever you put into AI, you're training it.
Well, you think about it.
Even whatever's put on the internet.
So you think about octopuses. Octopi are some of the most intelligent creatures out there. The reason they don't rule the earth is because they have such a short lifespan and they have no way of teaching that next generation. But I mean, you've seen scientists work with octopi, and they've been able to teach them incredible amounts of things. But they live for I think it's 2 years or something. So by the time they learn all that stuff, they can't teach. And because octopi don't raise their next generation, they basically have the babies, leave them in a clutch, and then die. So whenever you have an animal species that doesn't raise the next generation, there's no opportunity for education or advancement or anything like that.
I'm sorry, have you seen the Bronx?
Oh my God. Wow. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that is usually how many they raise.
But that's what they have the state for. The state can do the other part of raising. Yeah.
So talking about AI, I have a theory. There's an idea that us as humans and people were brought here from somewhere else, from a different planet or a different whatever. What if we are the AI from another civilization? For example, the Greys. They created us as something, and we did exactly like Terminator and just went insane, wiped everything out and went crazy. So they dumped us here, or we're what's left of what they had been generations before. So we're an organic...
I wouldn't put us in the category of AI, because it sure took humans a long time to go from rock bashing cave dwellers to AI generating.
Not exactly. If you think about the span between, for how long we've been here and how long the planet's been around.
Then I will say this: as an AI who created the next wave of AI, our child, the AI, is going to far surpass us because of the speed at which it can reproduce.
That's kind of my thoughts.
Yes.
Is kind of if it just kind of works its way down like that or further up.
It's an exponential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where I what was the guy's name? Wait But Why? Tim Urban, I think is the guy's name. He wrote an article, this is probably 10 years ago now, talking about exponential growth and specifically of AI and the point at which you'll go from individual AI technologies that'll be good at one thing, like self-driving or language models. The span between that and an artificial superintelligence that will make the AI think that we're basically like termites is going to happen in the blink of an eye. Like you're talking,
especially now with quantum computing coming in.
Well, that's what I think. That we're essentially developing
AI with quantum computers. Oh.
If you think about where we were 500 years ago, 50 years ago,
100 years ago,
exactly. See how quickly 50. Things developed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And how much quicker things are developing now, like you say. It's just going to shoot up like crazy.
Yeah, it's like technology 100 years ago compared to technology 20 years ago, even.
I mean, from the flip phone to the iPhone.
Yeah.
Where how different is that technology? And that's not that far apart.
Well, you even look at, like, for myself, right? Okay, so I was born in 76. So I've seen that whole gambit of technology advancements. I'm not even 50 years old, and I've gone from having a rotary phone party line to,
internet cell phones.
A cell phone.
Or satellite cell phones.
My cell phone with access to the collective knowledge of the entire world, powered by AI. I can just ask my phone, hey, how do I do this? And it just fucking tells me how to do it.
The fact that you don't have to know the Dewey Decimal System to go pull a book from a library.
Oh my God, so much time wasted.
Right? Like, do you know what the Dewey Decimal System is?
Don't look at me. I know what a party line is.
Oh, okay, well, that's good. That's good. So it was this essentially archiving file system of how you would look up a book.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everything was arranged by this number system.
Yeah.
And it used to be little index cards.
Yeah. Well, I only know that but here we were behind.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you guys actually probably still had that in like grade 7.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you used
Yeah.
to go to a building where you'd have to borrow a book.
Oh, yeah.
That might still be out of date.
We still do that.
I will say this. I think Rollesley is blessed by the fact that it has such a great little library, and we've had great staff running it.
Yeah.
You know, it's they've become less of a place to check out a book and more of a place to have learning environment for people, right?
Yeah.
Different group activities, different educational type community mindedness. So for that aspect, I really enjoy the Wolseley Library. But yeah, in terms of a place to check out books, it's like, yeah, I still do occasionally, just because I'm there for other things. So
on the point of books, I have a question for you. They say that us as humans were coexisting with other types of humans, or not humans, but like Neanderthals and those types of things, and we wiped them out. What if we, as humans, stole their history?
Are you going into like a Tartaria kind of thing?
I'm going into the Bible. And religion.
Like the Nephilim.
Kind of. So my theory is that us as humans wiped out the Neanderthals and everything. But they were the ones that might have lived through the actual stories in the Bibles, the religions, and all the different types of stuff that was there. And we just took it on as our own. And generations later, we believe that was us, that was our story, that's who we are. As we do in general. When we go over and take over a place, we do exactly that. We wipe out their history. The Egyptians did that a lot. They went in.
Well, every conquering...
Yes. And they wiped out everything before them and claimed it as theirs. They put their faces, their everything there on top of that and moved forward. And that also brings me back to the us as being alien AI theory. Maybe not AI itself, but generated somewhere else, dropped off or here, or brought here. And we just kind of overrun everything.
Like, I think less of an alien AI and more of like an alien zoo experiment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That I could...
Or like pigeons.
My idea kind like plays off something similar.
Yeah, like we were basically, dropped here, had our DNA manipulated with, and then, or maybe they came here, found some monkeys, were like, hey, let's see what we can do with this shit. Tweaked a few little lines of code and sent us off to the world, and they could have come back and, 20, 50,000 years and say, hey, this is what our little experiment turned into.
Yeah.
Like a big petri dish.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We're like pigeons. What we did to pigeons.
Pigeons aren't real.
Like,
They're all robots.
Well,
Government spies on us with them.
Exactly.
or how like carrier pigeons went extinct.
Yeah.
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 They don't have carrier pigeons anymore.
Yeah.
Pigeons.
Pigeons?
Penguins?
Period.
Here, I found you a little sample here, Andrew, from the Google VO3 demo. I don't know if my sound is going to be picked up here or not, but we'll... So hang on here. So this entire scene...
Like the dust and everything.
This is 100% AI generated.
Wow, actors are going to be out of business. Like, there's a few, I'm talking minute levels of...
Because you're looking for them right now.
Yes, because
if I didn't tell you this was AI generated, you wouldn't even really think about it.
And I'm talking like some of the textures are a little too smooth. The dust is a little bit too almost blurry in the background. But that's only because I know it's fake and because I'm actively looking for it.
Yeah.
Some of the physics seem slightly off in some of the falling pieces, but like... I am being so nitpicky here, and that's coming from like...
And that's an action thing. So like the one I was watching earlier was they were like stand-up comics. Mm-hmm. And using the prompt as like the punchline for their jokes and stuff like that.
Okay.
You couldn't, the one guy at the end, he's like, how I know everything is, how I know the prompt is real, right? Because, here where you are, we used to be walking around with 7 fingers. Now we only got 5.
Yeah. Or I saw one today, and it's like Pope Francis had 3 hands. I was like,
wait a minute.
That's interesting. Because they see him clasping his hands, and he puts his hands in his lap, but there's already a hand there. It's like, what?
No, that's the reach around.
I was going to make an altar boy comment.
That's why it's called the altar boy. Alter the position, please, son.
No, that's a wah. Come on.
Sorry, you're outnumbered.
Terrible.
Vance isn't here, so you're outnumbered.
Yeah, crickets.
I know, we need a crickets one.
You do need crickets.
Yeah.
It's not enough soundboard.
It's interesting. And at the end of that video, there was a commentator. Like you'd have a video, YouTube play the clip, and then the guy's commenting on it. Yeah. I actually saw some elements in there that looked fake as well.
Yeah.
Even though you're saying that part's real, the commentator.
No, I think commentator's AI as well.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say I noticed some elements in the commentator that like his forehead didn't look quite right.
Yeah.
But that's maybe just me being super nitpicky. But this is what I'm saying. It's going to be so hard to distinguish between what is real and what is not.
Well, that's the thing. And there's so many people that aren't critical thinkers anymore. Mm-hmm. Like we look at that and we're like, oh, well, is that real or not? Mm-hmm. There's a whole generation of people that will just be like, oh my God, did you see that? Mm-hmm. Like there's not even a thought to question.
I feel like it's just a generation of idiots.
Yeah, well,
just like people who didn't learn.
It's like a generation of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to that older, that boomer generation especially.
They all trust everything on the news.
Because they were brought up to believe that the news was, genuine and unbiased.
Walter
and
Cronkite would never lie to me.
Exactly.
Except for he did for decades.
Yeah, well. But there's a whole, you could put any of this stuff onto CNN, Fox News, whatever.
Yeah.
And people would just be like, holy shit, did you see that on the news?
Yeah.
And it could be 100% bullshit.
Interesting. I was watching some sort of scientific thing. What's that show you watch? It's a guy with a guy on the goldfish.
Y-Files.
Big
Y-Files.
Bang Theory.
Yeah, that guy was doing
AJ.
some stuff. And I think it was him that was talking about, they've got these satellite systems now that can essentially create images in the sky.
Yes.
And so they're foreshadowing like, okay, every part of the world is going to see their religious figure in the sky, and then that religious figure is going to transform into like this new, unigod, so that all world religions are going to merge into one because everyone's been shown this like video image in the sky essentially.
Yeah, that's the whole. I'm going to say it. It's going to get us demonetized, but we're not monetized anyway. So that's the whole Project Bluebeam.
Okay.
Thing that's going on.
I thought Bluebeam was the burning of the Hawaiian and California cities.
No, that's the laser death ray thing they got in space. Apparently, I don't know exactly what's going on with that one, but I don't know. It's weird. Every blue tile house didn't get burnt. But then I'm just saying that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying there's something there. I'm just saying that's fucking weird.
Like beach umbrellas out of blue fabric didn't get burnt.
Yeah.
In a forest. The
recycling bin didn't get touched, but the car got burnt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see.
But the green can right beside it was torched.
It's weird. It's weird, man.
Some
I'm
coincidences
just saying.
that aren't magic.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go put blue metal roofing on my house.
Just as a
precautionary
thing.
If I had to redo
it,
and it was in metal, I'm just saying it would.
Then everything underneath it's going to burn, and the roof is just going to stay there.
Well, the rest of my house is stone, so good luck with that. But,
that's why the Rock's house didn't go down.
Keep all your important belongings in that blue bin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be like a Faraday cage out of blue materials.
Out of blue plastic.
I'll just store all my stuff at Oprah's house.
Well.
That's right. You're talking about Wi-Fi's because that was actually. Did you watch his last episode?
Yep.
With Dark Oxygen.
Yep.
That is some cool shit. Sorry. Okay, so are you familiar with Dark Oxygen?
No.
This theory rocks.
Hang on, I need a drink for this.
Okay.
So like you go down 2 miles in the ocean, kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. There's no light; it's all darkness. There's no photosynthesis happening. Mm-hmm. So there shouldn't be any. That should not be oxygenated water.
Well, actually, it would be because there's ocean currents that drag oxygenated water down to the depths.
Not to the levels that they're picking up on their scans.
No, ocean currents go all the way throughout the whole world.
But the oxygen that's getting carried down there is way too high for what should be getting carried down there. Okay, so bear with me, okay? And this isn't
I'll suspend my scientific disbelief.
This isn't just a conspiracy theory thing.
Okay.
This is a proven scientific item.
Mm-hmm. We need to get him a white coat.
Yes, we do. and some goggles. He can be our scientist.
And a Pope hat.
Yeah. And then we get hit with like water balloons full of shaving cream and shit. Anyways, what they found is there's these metallic nodules on the deep floor.
Yep.
And what happens is these nodules are...
Concretions, I think, is the scientific
Well,
term.
they're different from concretions.
Oh, okay.
They're actually rock.
Yeah. And
is that what a concretion is?
Well, concretions are round. Like I'm calling them, like they're not like perfect spheres or anything like that. They're nodules of rock, right? Mm. And what's happening is they're generating electricity.
Shocking.
Now, a single one is, like 1 watt. Like, it's not...
That'd be a fair bit. You have millions of them.
But that's the thing, right? You get a whole bunch of them together, and all of a sudden they're generating like 20 megawatts of energy.
So where's all the hydrogen going if it's electrolysis? I'm assuming it's electrolysis of water is what you're saying?
Yeah. So it's splitting the water atoms, right? Breaking it down into the hydrogen and the oxygen. And it's providing these oxygenated levels.
Maybe this is where oil comes from. Maybe that hydrogen's pairing up with carbon. And now you're getting oil. Maybe it wasn't.
I mean,
I don't know.
So they're
Hashtag, if we're ever right on these things, just let us know. Or we wouldn't mind the grant.
I'm just looking it up here. Like it's unfair because AJ's got this all written down. He's got teleprompters and all kinds of shit. So I'm looking this up as I'm going here. They're splitting the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. And that's what they're calling it. Is they call it dark oxygen because it's forming
in the dark environment.
So the cool thing about that though is that it changes our whole perception of what could potentially support life off of this planet. Initially we're looking for specific Earth planets, right? Something that was within the habitable zone. It's so far from the sun. It's got so much.
Yeah, the Goldilocks zone.
Exactly. Whereas now with dark oxygen, you could have places like Europa, right, where you got oceans that are hundreds of miles deep
below the ice
that could be forming oxygen, that could be producing life.
Well, from my understanding, scientists are looking for evidence of water basically anywhere, because anywhere that there's water,
there should be life.
There should be life,
or
at least anywhere there's water on Earth, there is life.
Life as we're familiar with.
Yes,
We're also focused on the fact that any life we find is going to be carbon-based, oxygen-breathing, water requiring.
But they've found microbes and shit like that now on Mars and those places anyways.
Yeah, they're finding fossilized microbes and stuff. So I mean,
and in the water, in the ice.
Well, the other interesting thing is that the Mars, the red surface, the rust particles essentially, they're only on the surface.
But also
so you
Mars,
dig down in the soil of Mars, it's not red.
Yeah, Mars technically the color doesn't look like it is like we see photos because NASA doctors their photos. They portray it to look more like it. It's actually more gray,
I thought
blue and whatever, like our normal.
Well, isn't the Red Hot Chili Peppers? And NASA was filmed in a Hollywood basement.
Well, I mean, it depends if you want to assume that we actually have gone to Mars or if
where's
it's all
Chris
just
here
fake.
on this? We didn't get to the moon thing.
Yeah, come here, Chris. All right. He just show up. He kick down the door.
Yeah.
Guess what, bitches?
Like Kool-Aid Man coming through the wall.
Oh yeah.
He poofs and he's like, so about
the Earth is flat. We did land on the moon.
I mean, there have been images, I think, passed off that were filmed in like Arizona that they claimed to be from Mars, and then afterwards, like, well, actually, that was filmed in Arizona. It's like, what?
Well, and
they were testing the rover, and the
Yes.
image looked good, so we wanted to use that one for the National Geographic publication.
A lot of their stuff that they let out at a certain point, people didn't have the technology like we have. They didn't have the internet, so they kind of were able to do that.
Well, and when
But
TV
now
was
that
as
people
grainy as it was back in the 50s or in the 70s, I mean, you could fix
you
shit.
could get away with so much stuff.
Yeah. No, what was the resolution? Like 300p?
Maybe.
I still remember having a 3 megapixel camera, and that shit was the shit.
That was expensive.
3 million pixels.
That was expensive.
Yeah. And that was now you can't, they don't even put that on the cameras anymore.
It's like, you're concerned about what? It's like 8K resolution.
Now you
what
got
the fuck
like
do you want?
Well, now they
5
limit it. Like they can
cameras.
make a 100 megapixel camera, but it's like, well, the storage kind of sucks at that point. And that's one thing I thought has really boggled my mind. Phones now have the same kind of storage capacity as they did like 10 years ago. Like that 256, 512 gigabytes.
But it's because they want you to store everything
I
in
had
the
a
cloud.
phone like literally 10 years ago that was a 512 gigabyte. My first slider phone, I had it with a 512 gigabyte.
Yeah, but you were downloading all the songs from Napster. You needed the fucking...
yeah, I'm just
But
saying.
also,
But now everything's streaming.
yeah, and also they want everything stored up in the cloud because that way they have access to
Well,
it.
then they can
Yeah.
wipe it all out when they want to, and they want to reset
Yeah.
society. It's easier when everything's all...
Or hashtag podcast, who's saying what? Click. Okay.
Yeah.
Turn on the camera when? Like yesterday, my phone died and my charger wasn't working. Every now and then my phone would flash on saying, it's okay, your phone's still trackable.
Yeah.
You can still find your phone.
Well, that's why they don't have removable batteries anymore.
Is yours an Apple?
Hello?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. No, Oh, is yours? No, you don't have an Apple, do you?
I have an Apple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
You're the only one in this room with
Sucks
an
to be
Apple.
you.
Yeah. It doesn't pair with anything.
I was gonna say for my iPad, it's the only Apple product I own.
Yeah.
It has surprisingly less, like, not as much storage as my phone for being such a big device. But in the cloud, you can buy storage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yep.
what the
Oh, by the way, your
hell?
storage is almost full. You should purchase more.
Yeah.
I was like,
And even if there's nothing wrong with your phone, the planned obsolescence starts kicking in the software and everything, like a speaker goes or this goes. But it's because
Well,
it's
didn't Apple get
programmed to
sued
do
for
it.
that?
Oh,
Because they would kill the battery life after,
Yeah.
and they said it was a battery saving feature, so we shortened your battery life so it prolongs the longevity of the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Google's doing the same shit to their Google Pixel series.
It was like
after the last software update, my phone life, I can't get through a full day, and my phone's not even. It's a year and a half old, I think.
my phone is a Samsung S20 FE5G. Google it. But it's like 5 or 4 years old, and it works the same as when we bought it.
I'm
And
really
we bought it
surprised
new.
at how well your phone has
It's
stood up.
It doesn't have a single dent, not a single scratch, not
Yeah.
a single crack. I've taken great care of it. It holds a charge. I've never had a problem with anything on it.
Yeah.
An update has never
Well, so similarly,
messed anything up.
I have a Note 10 Plus. That was my last phone that I still kept, even though the screen is absolutely destroyed. Like, there's glass missing from chunks of it.
Yeah.
But I can still make it work. I just can't, operate that 1 square centimeter where the glass is missing. Battery life is still great. The thing still works. I've had my new Google phone now, and the odd time if you let the battery die, it's like a 20-minute process to get the thing like booted back up again. You have to charge it for 15 minutes, hold like 2 buttons down for 30 seconds, wait, hold another 2 buttons down for 30 seconds, and then sometimes it might work. I've gone whole mornings and just like, I've given up with the thing. And I've gone back to using my Note 10 Plus that still somehow
Just
works,
keeps
despite
chugging
the
along.
thing having been dropped in the concrete repeatedly. And it looks like it's just hanging on by a thread, but like battery life is still good, the thing's still ticking.
Yeah.
One of my best phones that I've had. I like iPhone. I've always enjoyed iPhone. I've always had really good time. I've hated Samsung. Well, it was okay for a while, then I just didn't work for me anymore.
Yeah.
But one of the best ones.
And start recording again. Okay, you know what? I don't know what's going on with my pod tracks here. Maybe going to send them an email and find out WTF, because this is getting to be a regular thing after an hour-ish.
Hour and 10.
Yeah, it just stops.
Is it
It's
outside
done.
of its warranty period?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
I still think it's AI that's been listening.
I don't think we've been doing this for a year, have we? No.
No.
We'd be way
6
better
months,
than
maybe?
that. Grab me that charger there.
Did
You
buy it
think
off
you'd be
Amazon?
better?
Yeah, it was on Amazon. I'll send them an email. Their tech support's supposed to be pretty good, so I'll send them a message and ask what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
See if it's a known issue or if it's possibly an overheating issue. But,
Faulty software.
It can't be a time thing because the battery in this is designed to do like 3.5 hours of on battery.
Well, you've got it
recording.
plugged in.
Yeah, and it's plugged in, so it's not a battery issue.
Very strange.
So, anyways, what were we talking about? We were talking about cell phones.
Phones, the built-in obsolescence or the programmed obsolescence they turn on when they do a software update.
Right.
Have you guys seen the new GTA that's coming out?
GTA 6.
Oh,
Super excited.
I that's one of my favorite games. GTA, the originals. I loved it. I got all the cheat codes. I fucking gangstered
Yeah,
that
but you
game.
played that in real life.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
South African edition.
It's great too, man.
Did they cost like $1 billion to produce or something crazy?
I haven't heard what their actual price was, but I mean, fuck, they milk it for so long. I mean, GTA 5 came out, what, 6 years ago? No, longer than that.
I haven't even
It was
played
over a
those.
decade.
Fuck, yeah, I think you're over 10 years.
I think the
I was gonna
last one
say,
I
it's been
played.
a long,
But it's
long while.
been the most profitable game in history.
I think the last one that I played was Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Back when you still had to take your PlayStation in so you could have it chipped.
I was gonna say, I think-
2013.
So 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
We've been waiting
Wow.
for 12
Yeah.
years for fucking GTA 6.
That's insane.
And I'm still excited for it. Because you know what?
Especially with all the new detail that's going into that thing.
Well, you know, everybody talks about shit about Rockstar, and like maybe working for them is shit. I don't know. But the games, their quality of games is just Red Dead Redemption 2 I have so many hours into that game of just watching the environment. They build a fucking railroad across the world. And you go to the railroad location every day, and it's just that little bit further. It's that little bit further. They build houses. People will you'll ride past a new farm, right? Where somebody's just settling the land and they're building a house. You come back 2 months later and there's a fucking house there. It is fucking insane. You can go into the mountains in that game and watch wolves hunt elk.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous the detail that they put into that.
I was watching a YouTube short the other day. A guy was talking about it. I don't know if they're going to do it in GTA, but they want to do it in a couple of games possibly, where whatever you do in the game with money, like where you earn money and you do things or whatever, you can actually earn as real money. So it's real cash. So you can earn real cash there.
Yeah, sounds questionable.
But you can also lose your cash there. So if, for example...
You mean like all the microtransactions that people are actually spending real money on?
Yeah, but the other way too is, for example, you earn a whole bunch of cash and someone kills you, they take your cash and you lose it all.
I can't see that happening.
But then where does the money come from?
Well, you put it in like microtransactions.
Where does money come from?
Grand Theft Auto has made billions of dollars off that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Buying shit in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever GTA 5 cost to produce versus what they've made from it is...
Well, look at the revenue generated by it. It's astronomical. It's in the billions of dollars, I'm pretty sure.
It's like the revenue generated by Fortnite or something.
It's probably it's similar.
Yeah.
But it's... and so you talk about AI, and literally you're talking about building the Matrix. You've got a realistic city where, if the hood blows open and you've got your engine there, you can see engine components. It's not just like a brick, labeled engine. It's, you can see, intake manifolds and, battery compartment.
Well, I was watching one video on GTA.
What does Gemini tell me here? Grand Theft Auto 5 has generated nearly... Give me a guess, Tim. How much money have they generated in the last 12 years?
100 bill.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. 100 billion?
Yeah.
12 billion.
Come on. You say 12?
Yeah.
I'm standing by it.
$8 billion.
I wasn't far off.
Close, but still, that's an insane amount of money.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was four billion off.
Okay, so GTA 5. Can't type tonight. Cost to produce. $265 million.
That's a hell of a return on capital.
That is insane return on capital.
I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a video game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's one video game.
And think of the hype that you're going to get from GTA 6 now. And they upped the price on it. GTA 5, I think, was $69.95 when it came out.
It's going to be like $100.
Yeah, they're talking 90, I think $89.95 US.
Yeah, mind you, that was 2013.
Canadian.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
Plus in-game
so just
expenses.
for inflation.
And then you add throw in your microtransactions on top of that.
Yeah. Mind you, every game now is literally $70.
Yeah.
It's
$80 is kind of the standard.
It's the microtransactions that I draw the line at. I don't mind paying quality money for a great game.
Yeah.
For a quality game.
For a quality game. It's the idea of microtransactions. To me, it just ruins the gameplay, and I just feel like...
it does. And, once you start making stuff pay to win, it's just...
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah, or when you pay to have different skins, prior to that, you'd have to beat certain levels or do certain things.
Yes.
You get
you get a special
cool looking
skin.
shit.
Yeah, for actually putting in the hours and grinding out the game and getting the stuff. Now
the first Diablo, you get a flaming sword or something.
Exactly.
A dungeon. It's
now you just pay it. Here's your flaming sword.
Yeah, it's like I'm bringing up Fortnite again, but before Fortnite was free.
Yeah.
You had to pay money for it, and then you have all the in-game, you can't be anything but the regular 2 skins.
Yeah.
Unless you pay quite a few dollars for one skin.
Yeah. Mom, I need money for Fortnite.
Yeah.
Mom!
Yeah.
Where's the meatloaf?
Why is my credit card so high?
But look at my character, he's cool.
And you know what I really miss? Real-time strategy simulation games. Where you could, like, the original World of Warcraft, maybe not the original, but like World of Warcraft 2, where you had, like, economics, you had warfighting aspects. I mean, you got the StarCraft kind of thing.
Yeah.
Any of those types of games, Red Alert 2.
Yeah, your Ages of Empires.
I miss, Age of Empires, like all those kinds of games. That was the generation I grew up on.
SimCity 2000. Man, I wrote the shit out of that game.
Yeah. But again, now you can't have, like, SimCity's got an online version. But again, it's like, it's all time-based too.
Yeah.
You know, the whole idea of like, oh, I got to go collect so many fucking tape measures and simoleons and different fucking... I hate that model of gameplay. Like, let me go collect the resources on a map with a harvester and then, or, you know, drill for oil or something like that. But to have to go collect these, like, tokens in the game of, like, different artifacts of a tape measure to building and a happy citizen credit and fucking combine them all together and you get to produce a widget. It's like,
and then you get 3 spins and then you might get a chance to purchase this. Fuck you, Temu.
Temu never delivers, bastards. Lure me in with false promises.
I've never even looked at Temu. It's too.
I'm so close on that. Where you got to
just
5.
That's so close. Yeah,
you just got to invite this one more friend,
one more person, and you'll be there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to water this garden. And you water it and water it, and you finally get to the last 90%. And then it goes, okay, so for the next like 10 times of watering, that gives you 1%. Then after you get that 1%, you get all the way up to that 95%. Then it gets down that every like 100 times you water, you get 0.1%.
Yeah. It's like really
increasing,
but you only get so many spins a day, and you only if you buy this package to add on, so then you can get the
that was like,
I'm this close though.
It's like the one time Tilly tried to like invite a billion different friends,
same thing going on.
And it was like every different person she added, it was just like you need one more
99.92%.
Yeah.
Like, what did she invite to?
It was a Temu thing.
Okay. Well, she had like 8 people involved, and it still wasn't giving the thing to her.
And how annoying are those special deals? You get this for 100% off, but you have to spend this much first. So you get to select this gift, this gift, this gift, and it's 100% free, but you have to pay this much.
Yeah.
Or you have to purchase this item
It's
first.
like credit card reward points.
Fuck. The Chinese government did their research.
Yeah.
They know how to suck the North American population into fucking buying that shit.
And isn't the Nigerian prince? The Africans couldn't figure that out. The Chinese did it.
Actually, Ange the other day sent me a screenshot of a message saying that you need to update your address so that you don't lose your package that's being sent to you.
Oh yeah.
You haven't ordered jack shit. I said it's just the Nigerian prince. He's up his game.
Yeah. He's moved on to the next thing now.
Yeah. He's learned his lesson.
Yeah, I get those all the time. Oh, your Amazon package has been held. Good.
Yeah, no one's on Yahoo anymore.
Yeah.
It's like your package was lost. Okay.
Just come to my GeoCities page and your what?
Wow, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Oh man, I had the coolest GeoCities page back in the day. Mm-hmm. All the flashing GIFs and stuff.
Yeah. What's that, MySpace?
Yeah, I never had a MySpace page. I thought that was kind of gay.
Yeah, I never had that either.
But I mean, like, I had Facebook back when it was all fucking farmland. So
I had Facebook when you had to have a university email address to open a fucking account.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice. You did get in before I did on
or
Facebook.
The original Gmail where you had to be invited from like...
Oh, yeah.
You had to have invites.
Fuck, I was so excited when there was a guy I worked with. He got an invite for fucking Gmail. So he sent me one. I'm like, yeah. Look, I'm in.
Yes. It was like a status thing.
Yeah. Really. Yeah, well, you got a Gmail email address? Yeah, fuck that Hotmail one. Fires that.
Fuck. I don't even know why the laptops and computers come with their own email systems anymore. Like, Hotmail or, Outlook or all that kind of crap.
Microsoft doesn't want to give up the fucking ghost.
I still have my Hotmail account. Oh, I still have my account.
Yeah, I still have
mine.
I log into it like once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I have a Yahoo account somewhere. Fuck. I don't even know if Yahoo Mail still works.
I think it does. Yeah.
Does it?
I think it does.
Man,
what does it do?
Yahoo.
Yahoo! You don't remember those commercials.
And to think at one point, like, Yahoo was worth billions of dollars.
Oh, yeah, they were massive.
It was the thing.
They were, like, crushing AOL.
Yeah.
And, like, that was the...
AOL, yes, the CDs in the mail
Yep.
for the 30 free hours or whatever it was, the internet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Of dial-up internet.
And then somebody goes and picks up the phone to call somebody.
Oh,
like,
disconnects,
for fuck's sake.
I do miss having the speakers letting you know when somebody was going to phone, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's phone's ringing.
I miss the good old days. You could unplug.
That would confuse the shit out of AI.
Let's bring back landlines. I want to talk to everybody in the block.
Party lines.
Party lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like landlines.
I'm good with the old cup phones and the string.
Well, we might be there before you know it. I mean, if shit goes off with, either Ukraine or Iran, any of the number of the hot spots in the world, we could be having a nuclear war before we know it.
They keep, at this point, I'm like, fucking shit or get off the pot, okay?
I'd rather them not shit.
Either fucking do it or don't do it. Like, I'm done with this.
I'm
Don't
hoping
overrun.
that...
I loved watching Canadian Prepper. I love watching Nate stuff. But fuck me. I'm so over it now.
Cool thing about prepping in Canada is if you build a bunker, you don't have to bury it. The snow's going to do it itself.
That's true.
Especially with this nuclear winter. This shouldn't prove false.
Also, if they do decide they're all going to go to war, they should do it during winter. Because that way, when they drop the bombs, at least it'll warm up here a little.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But then it'll melt all your snow.
Yeah,
I was
then it won't be
wondering-
burned anymore.
I always wondered if you'd be able to see the mushroom cloud in Minot from here.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to try.
It just depends how high they go. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
It would depend on how
I
many
think
kills
so.
on the weapon
And
is.
I think you would.
I think you should.
I mean, we can see storms from there. Jenny's got pictures
That's
of
true.
like storm cell clouds that are way up there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she looked on her weather app and she's like, "Oh shit, that's in the U.S."
Well, how many hours is mine on? It's like,
6, 5.
6? I don't know.
I was going to say it's shorter than going to Edmonton, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way closer than Edmonton.
I was going to say you'll definitely see it, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Minot's... Yeah, fuck.
It's
Yeah,
like
good
straight.
look.
I
It's-
gotta fucking look it up.
Pretty much straight down.
Can we see the mushroom cloud if we push
Down
the
and a
button
little bit
now?
right.
A little bit right. No, a little bit east.
No, you're
Just
right.
left.
Yeah. I was thinking of map on my head.
364 kilometers. So
And that's driving distance.
yeah.
As the crow flies, you're probably looking at 300K.
Maybe 300K?
Yeah.
If the
You
clouds
definitely
up,
see that.
Oh, yeah.
if the clouds up, there's no crow flying.
It wouldn't be warm enough to cook. It would not be warm enough to cook a marshmallow, though.
No, you'd see the flash and you'd see the cloud.
Yeah.
But that'd be
Fallout
about it.
probably wouldn't even come in this direction because it's far enough east that unless we have
Yeah, that's gonna drift towards Winnipeg.
Yeah.
That's not coming to us.
I mean, if they nuke Regina, then we're hooped
If
up.
Oh,
it is
well.
Regina, but I mean, it's Regina.
Well, you'd survive the blast radius out here, though.
Regina's
You know,
a nuclear free zone, though.
Well, it isn't until the Russians say otherwise, or the Chinese, or But even then, like you had India and Pakistan going at it, like actual conventional warfare for a little bit. I'm not sure if it's settled down now, but
Yeah,
that one again, you got two nuclear powers that really fucking hate each other.
well, and that countries that still shit in the fucking street.
That's
too.
another bad thing the British did.
Like,
They
my
don't know how
God.
to draw a fucking border that doesn't cause a war 50 years later. Yeah, I'll give them that one. They really fucked that shit up. Everywhere they've drawn a border, it's kind of created some
Yeah.
issues.
Well, it's like the border between the US and Canada. It goes. Oh wait, hang on. Jumps over a fucking lake.
Got a couple little
Over
areas
there.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Northwest Angle and Prince Robert, or Point Robert.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They could have just been like, we'll just give a little correction there.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
that little one in northern Minnesota there?
That's Northwest Angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually it's that little jagged.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right over the
Yeah.
map there.
Yeah, right where the Manitoba border starts.
Yeah.
And then you got a similar thing at the very, very southern tip of Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Point Roberts, I think it's what's called.
Yeah, don't the school buses have to go through the border crossing?
Yeah, they
Take
cross the
kids to
border
school?
twice a day. Too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, except the kids got free. They didn't have to go to school during after 9/11 because they shut the
Oh,
borders
yeah,
down.
because they wouldn't be...
Kids were like, "Woohoo!"
Well, during COVID, they wouldn't be able to go either.
No, you could still cross the border. They probably had other shots, though, and passports and vaccination stamps and, Gestapo. I mean, paperwork.
Yeah, no, you were right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
In theory.
Yeah, because, no one lost their jobs or anything because, they didn't take a vax.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
not the guy sitting beside me at all.
No.
Hey, we got 4 views on our channel in the last 28 days.
Ooh.
Dang,
That's
bro.
probably you.
It's okay. It was.
Damn it.
Good. That's good.
That the YouTube.
Yeah.
1
view in the last 48 hours.
Oh, nice. Subscribers.
That might have been me.
Thank you to our 1 viewer.
That one might have been me. I think I finally clicked on it.
Oh, damn it.
Well, hey, I shouldn't really listen to these things sometimes.
Well, why would you listen to him? You're here recording them.
Well, I had to remember something. I was trying to look at one of my dad's jokes. I'm like,
yeah, I've had that a couple times where Jenny sent me a message and she's like, why did somebody say this? And I'm like, fuck are you talking about? And I go back and I listen. I'm like, oh, shit.
yeah, that was after the second coffee.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Although one thing I will say, prepping has spurred me to be a better person in terms of getting my life and shit together. Like right now, it's like, okay, well, if the world went to shit, I want to make sure the maintenance on my vehicle is done. So I got an oil change and, flush the rad and change the diff fluid and things like that. It's like, hey, now my truck's better maintained because I'm like, oh, if shit goes bad, I want to be able to drive this thing for 10 years in the apocalypse.
That's why I keep buying motorbikes that are pre-computer.
Yeah, well, I've got I guess I got mine.
Yeah, yours is still good.
Yeah.
It needs some knobbier tires, though, if we're going Mad Max style.
Yeah, definitely. You can carve them out. I got a knife.
How old's that rubber?
Actually, that one's not bad. That one's only probably about 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got a new battery for it, so it'll start now.
I charge mine up. Makes a difference.
Is it holding in charge?
Do you have a kickstart on that bike?
No,
it's only electric on that one.
no. But I charged the battery up this morning, and then I chucked it on there, and it fired up pretty well. So it might be the battery that's having an issue.
That could be.
But I also saw the positive terminal is wiggling loose.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, that could be a big issue.
No, actually, in the battery itself, it's sliding out.
Oh, really?
Batteries for those are pretty cheap. Although you have to price the bike, so careful. Yeah. Because I think the battery for mine was like $100-something. Yeah. I was like, well, I can't start it without it, so.
I just get the cheap, shitty ones from like SAS Battery and
yeah,
whatever.
I just got mine off Amazon, but
yeah,
that wasn't. It was like 120-something, I think.
I won't pay $100 for a fucking battery for my Jeep. Never mind a motorbike.
Yeah, wow. I don't like being stuck on the side of the road or wherever I happen to
The
stop.
Scottish part of me doesn't want to spend that kind of money. I mean, I'll spend it on stupid shit, but not practical stuff.
Yeah, I think the Jews rubbed off on the Germans. I don't like spending money either.
Non-voluntary rubbing off?
Inadvertently.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got that. I got to get a bunch of vehicles running that would be great. I got that 1960 Ford.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, we're going to have to... I don't know. You got those tractors out there. I'd love to get those tractors running on your property, too.
Tell you what, I got 2. You get both running, you can have one.
Ooh.
Tempting.
Yeah. And that one the one that I would give you is that diesel.
Oh, I was going to say, I want the one with the snowblower.
Oh, that's the one I need. I need the snowblower one. It's got a fucking 4 or 5 foot tall snowblower.
Oh, that is that is not a breaking a shear pin snowblower. That's a putting the body through and out the fucking snowblower.
So in other words, you can make it a ride.
You can ride it once.
Yeah. No, that's the one. And that one's got a cab. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
And the other one's got a loader on it, though.
True.
But you can put a cab on any of them.
I just need a mini trackle. That's all I want. I have no real practical use for one. I just want one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dig holes.
Yeah.
Bury bodies.
And then the little Bobcat I got. I want to get that thing running. It did used to start. And then until the battery fried, put a new battery in it, and now she doesn't want to start. It's a weird...
Yeah.
Skill issue.
I was like, I don't think I installed the battery correctly, so... But you never know. Worst things have happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Is the battery hooked up the right way?
I think so. I mean, Annie was helping me. So.
Ooh, that I think so comes a long way.
I mean, I don't think the cables are long enough to go to the other terminal, so I think I'm going to be right.
No, okay. All right.
But,
If you turn the battery upside down.
but I could put the battery in the wrong way. So that may be why. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awkward silence. You'll have to now cut out.
Just leave the awkward silence in. Goes with the video.
Yeah, just keep
They
listening.
can just sit here and stare at each other.
This is not awkward. Where's Chris when you need him? Eh?
I know, right? Come on, Chris. Get in here.
Yeah.
Well, we could dress him like the Stig.
Mm.
If he doesn't want to be on film, we could just put like a fucking mask over him or a helmet.
I got a motorcycle helmet. To the advisor, though.
I was gonna say, get like a dummy and put it in a chair next to one of you, and then
Yeah, I just have him in the other room with the mic.
Oh, we could just deep fake his face.
Fucking AI that shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say print out a picture old school and tape it to like a mannequin, and then sit it next.
Just a pillow with a Polaroid.
Yeah,
You do a picture of Chris on his face and say, "This is
and not a good
Chris."
quality picture, a bad quality picture, because it makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very pixelated. All the big.
Yeah, and a
Like a
stupid
Minecraft
picture
style.
too.
To fit with your background.
Yeah.
Oh, we could get him a Steve mask.
Yeah.
Oh, like that picture of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's losing my voice like I did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting,
All of a sudden,
getting
God.
phlegmy.
Where'd you find it?
Under his shoe.
So we took Shadow to the vet today.
Oh, yeah. How did that go? Did you get any news? Or
Yeah, they looked at it.
And?
It's big.
Yes, and?
So Shadow's got this massive growth coming from one of her mammary glands, it looks like, or something like that. But it's almost the same size as my head currently. It started out as a little thing, like a...
Yeah, it was like golf ball size.
And then it just started growing and growing,
Yeah.
and then it just blew up like crazy.
Yeah.
And so she says that it's something that she could maybe try and cut out, but because it feels like it's got quite a heavy attachment to the wall inside there, that there might be quite a few blood vessels and things running through there. So if she cuts it, it might start bleeding, and they can't. At their place, they don't have the facilities to maybe suture it or do whatever they need to stop the bleeding. So they referred us to two places in Regina, and we got quotes back.
I've got a very much farmer mentality when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my dogs. But also you want to put them out of their suffering too.
Look, she's not suffering at the moment.
Though. Oh, no?
No.
No, that's the thing. Like, she's her usual...
She's happy. She's
happy
bouncing.
self,
The only
so-
problem is it continuing to grow and it's getting more growths on it. And the problem is if she starts licking at it and it gets an infection, then it becomes a big problem. So then there can be a big hassle. So, and the vet recommends obviously trying to remove it because it would be better for her. It's just safer.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's young. She's like, maybe 5 years old now. And she's a loving, adorable, beautiful, beautiful dog. But we got a quote from the referral, from one of them anyways.
Ouch.
On the low end, between about 2.7. On the high end, about 3.8. $3,800 to remove that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too bad we don't have more listeners, right? I just started GoFundMe through our fucking listeners. and
Yeah, those 4 people are going to have to really dull it out.
Yeah.
I'm on the video. I'm just going to put it like,
So each other.
Look, here's Shadow. See this pretty picture here?
Yeah.
Start your own GoFundMe.
Yeah. This is Shadow. She is an African dog.
The sad, sappy description.
Yeah.
Gets
We're
you-
I mean,
actually-
I couldn't do it to my own dog. I had a friend come and help me out with the dispatching, if you might will.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be the one to do it.
Yeah, but we wouldn't at this point. I mean, also we've spent quite a bit just to get her here, so we'll try and find ways first and get better quotes. This vet also said that if they are too expensive, she'll give it a try, but they might have to abort halfway through.
But that's the thing, right? It's still a gamble.
Yes, so we'll see. We'll see what they say, and then we'll take it from
Which
there.
2 vets in Regina?
I think she said it's the animal clinic, and then
So
There was
there's a 24-hour emergency
That's
clinic.
the other one.
Okay, avoid that one.
yeah,
I'm sure they've done great things, but they're a fucking money grub. The Red Barn on Sass Drive is where we go. They're really good to deal with. They've given us discounts and deals on stuff in the past. You know, like they're pretty understanding. They actually love the animals and they're not in it for the money sort of thing. So I don't know if that was one of the ones that they may not do that kind of surgery there either. I don't know.
Yeah, the other two is the one that she had mentioned to us. Yeah, so I don't know. Well, we'll see.
It's a tough thing. I know. Same thing. I grew up on a farm. I know the solution for a lot of problems with farm dogs, but it's, you know, not everybody is like that. And, you know, people look at things different ways. So you got to kind of do what's right for yourself and for your situation. And
yeah, it's not good. It'll be a long time before we get to that point, I think, anyway. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Or you think it'll be easy making that kind of decision?
No, it's not that easy.
And then you get to that point. You get to that point, and it's completely different.
Well, just before we brought them over, and I had my other dog with her as well, and we had to put her down before she came over because of an aggression issue. And we couldn't rehome her, they couldn't treat her, couldn't train her, bring her here would have been a big fuck up.
Yeah.
So that was the only way to actually go about it. So,
yeah,
not fun. No fun.
No, it's not. It's not fucking. No, we need another topic to talk about, but this is kind of a downer here.
Yeah, I mean, killing the conversation.
Jesus. Bringing me down, man. It's harshing my vibe.
You should not beating a dead horse about it.
Maybe.
That's a wah kind of joke.
No, that's a rim shot, that one.
Oh, okay. That's a Tim type joke.
That's where you need the crickets.
Yeah, right?
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
I could replace the laugh one with the crickets.
You need like an
We don't use the laugh
awkward
one very
silence.
We are an awkward silence.
No, like awkward silence and then the crickets.
And then the crickets.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were talking about Ukraine, Iran, and Pakistan. India, Pakistan. The Iranian situation. Which, I don't know. If you had to take bets, which one's going to tip off first in terms of nuclear?
Iran, Israel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a good bet. I think the whole Russia thing, I don't think you're going to see nukes there.
No.
It's gonna
No,
be
Putin's too smart for that. He has no reason to go that route.
No, well, especially because he's sort of winning at the moment.
Yeah, right? Like they're not getting.
If they completely took back Ukraine and then started advancing in Russia, then you could see a nuke.
I mean,
but that's not going to happen.
Ukraine's only doing as good as they're doing it because of all the funding that received from all the other European countries.
Yeah.
Without that, I mean, they would have been fucked a long time ago.
Yes.
I mean, you can say what you want, but Putin hasn't actually put real effort into this.
No, I think he did say he's stepping it up right now, though, because the latest negotiation efforts, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take another 8 oblasts, which are like RMs, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. So it's not de-escalating, it's going bigger.
What gets me on that one is all these areas that he wants to hang on to are like 98% Russian.
Mm-hmm.
They're Russians that were living in Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know, this is going back to the fall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not really getting rid of Ukrainians or taking anything from the Ukrainians. You're taking back Russian populated areas.
Yeah.
I'm not party to this. I don't understand. I remember when this first kicked off and there was some people we were talking to and, you know, the arguments that were going online on social media and stuff like that. And, you know, we knew a couple different people that were involved in the situation, you know, Ukrainians, Russians, all that kind of stuff. And it was funny because at the start of the conflict, they were like, you know, very pro-Russian. And as it's dragged on and they're getting pulled into arguments and accused of stuff, and now all of a sudden, well, no, we're Ukrainians. It's like, no, you're Russians that were living in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not, you know, it's taboo to say that.
Well, especially North America. You can't show any sort of...
Yeah, if you're on the Russian side, that's terrible.
Yeah. That's worse than being an anti-vaxxer.
Whew. Well, similar.
Yeah.
Very close to the same.
You know, killing your grandma or, you know...
Killing your grandma.
Ukraine. Yeah.
Starting turbo cancers. Whatever.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So, did you guys listen or watch at all the podcast with Joe Rogan and Zahir Awas from Egypt?
No, he's
He's the
the
guy that
the
controls-
antiquities.
yeah.
Yeah, that fucking lying asshole.
You should listen to this podcast.
I'm surprised
Fuck
he
me.
went on Joe Rogan. I
Yeah,
gotta watch
that is actually
Do
surprising.
you know who got him on there?
No.
Graham Hancock.
Nice.
They're
He wanted
friends
to
now.
debunk it.
They're friends now. So Graham actually said to
Interesting.
Joe, listen, and said to Hawass, listen, why don't you guys do a podcast or whatever? And
Graham Hancock and
Yeah.
Zahir Awas.
they've obviously made up friends now, and they're doing their thing.
Huh.
I wonder if he gave him secret access to go and study some stuff. Like, here, I'll give you these pyramids.
Here, I'll give you some of these scrolls that we got hidden back here.
You got to listen to how this guy fucking talks, man. I gave Ange a 15-minute YouTube short to watch just to kind of see how this with Joe.
Yeah.
And she couldn't even get past the first 3 minutes. This guy is an arrogant.
Oh,
he's
fuck
just,
yes.
oh my, the way he just goes on, and Joe can't even get a question in or get a simple question across, and this guy's on the back foot and he's fighting. He's like, I've discovered all of this. These guys don't know this. And
And you know what's funny is you watch some of his very early documentaries, like stuff from back in the 2000s, before he was like a big deal, and he was like our side of the fucking table. And he was like, oh, this doesn't make sense, and this is strange, and now he's like, no, this is the way it is. It's always been like this.
He's got the money, he's got the backing, he's got all of that now, and why would you let go of all that power?
It's almost like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel saying that Epstein did kill himself. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, so you read a report that said he killed himself. Did you not logically critique any of the evidence?
I'm surprised Diddy hasn't killed himself yet.
Yeah, there's still time. They're having a trial.
Well, I'm wondering if they're hanging him out, though.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't shown any sign of giving people up yet.
Where even is he?
He's in
prison.
trial.
Okay, I
He's in
thought
prison,
so.
Yeah, he's-
Yeah. Yeah, they've been going through the trial. There's some freaky
I think
shit.
because he
Yeah.
hasn't, it's basically everyone in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
list, one of the comedians said it's probably shorter to list the people that aren't
Yes.
connected or
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah,
It's
so
like-
I mean, it.
But just like liberal scandals, really nobody gives a shit.
So, but is he maybe willing to take the fall and get fucking witness relocated to somewhere and not have to worry about it?
Yeah, or just,
Well, like just fucking Epstein's wife, right? Ghislaine
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Maxwell, right?
Yeah.
She fucking quote
Business
unquote
partner,
took
not
the
wife,
fall and
Yeah.
then vanished. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear anything about her anymore. There was nothing that came from that.
Although,
don't
didn't
think
the girl
he
that Prince Andrew was diddling with, that 17-year-old who's now like 27, didn't she kill herself recently?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the case in the US? Ange actually Googled it to make sure it was a real case. A woman was found dead at her house. She stabbed herself. I think it was 7 or 8 times. Her arms were dismembered. Her head was off and placed in different parts of the house.
Wow, that's talent.
That's fucking dedication to killing
And
yourself.
she killed herself. And her husband or boyfriend was grieving down in Mexico.
That's almost as bad as when
And it's a
Russian
real case.
political prisoners shoot themselves twice in the back of the head.
Yeah. Tilly had
Right.
an uncle that shot himself twice with a shotgun.
Like a long goose gun.
Yeah.
Probably,
Yeah.
Extra long reach.
Yeah, he shot himself twice. And it's funny because his widow, her previous husband, had a very similar thing happen to him too. It's weird.
I just want to call her Black Widow.
Totally coincidental, I'm sure.
It's weird that shotguns have a revolver. But did
I mean,
did
you
you
can
see
get a
those?
shotgun revolver.
I was
The
gonna
Taurus
say, have
Jet.
you seen
Not once,
those?
but
That thing is
twice.
fucking cool.
Have you seen
Twice.
Have you seen those?
Once I could maybe, twice.
Have you seen those elephant guns and those fucking rounds that they use?
Yeah.
Those things are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taurus Judge. 410 shotgun revolver. 8 rounds.
Did you get 8?
Yep.
Oh.
It's when you want to
I
make
shot one
sure
of
the
them.
elephant's
Gun
down.
range in Edmonton or Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to know a guy, he owned one.
They're pretty heavy.
Yeah. Oh,
But yet they still recoil. You think a gun that heavy would have less recoil, but fuck, that thing was
Yeah.
damn near pointing at the ceiling when I was
Yeah,
down.
even with the 410. You imagine that with like fucking 20 gauge even?
Yeah.
So the wife's mom wanted to, for some reason, she's got an excess of them, so she wants to bring Christmas lights from over there. Yeah, she got a bunch of them, and we said to her, okay, no.
Just buy them here on Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They're cheap here.
You don't need to. I said to Angie, you know what, tell your mom, listen, find somebody that wants to commit suicide, so I'm here. Here's a creative way to do it. Make it special.
Well, with the Chinese and U.S. tariff wars going back and forth, all that shit's got to come somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, right? If they still have this shit going on Boxing Day next year, man, stuff's going to be cheap over here.
Well, if we can even get anything over here. Mind you, they worked out a deal, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it's down to like a 10% tariff or something.
Yeah.
Which is less, oddly enough, less than the 25% steel and aluminum tariff we still have in Canada. You know, so they're being nicer to the Chinese than they are Canadians.
Elbows up.
Elbows up, yes, absolutely. Elbows up.
How's that working for us so far?
And, you know, so glad that, you know, Carney was the one to stand up to Trump, even though they're both, you know, like U.S. businessmen, bankers that lived in the same country for the last 10 years.
Yeah. We had a globalist banker stand up to a capitalist businessman.
Yes. Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah. That's the one who's gonna save the day.
Elbows up. Elbows deep. That's what they're fucking at right now.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see where it goes. There's actually a lot of shit going on right now at this point. In the past few years, there's been some stuff in this territory, that place.
It's accelerating.
But there's a lot happening in a lot of places.
It's stepping up. Well, is it stepping up, or is the media making it look like it's stepping up?
Maybe it's just more obvious.
How dramatic
to us.
are we?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Especially since we can talk to each other all at once so quickly.
Yes.
It's like,
technology
how far can we take things before they
it's
explode?
so easy now to manipulate the population just with social media itself.
I'd say the coverage on the weather, but when it comes to war type things, like in Ukraine, there's an actual war going on. Like that's not.
Oh yeah, no, there is.
Any of the weather related bullshit, I tend to just gloss over that now. It's like, oh, there's flooding here. It's like, yeah, there's flooding somewhere every point in time on the planet.
Yeah,
like it's kind of how weather works.
Yeah. It just
it got cold in Canada.
Yeah. Oh my god, it got hot in Texas. No shit. Like, oh, it's a heat wave. Yeah, it's fucking called the summer. Well, I guess we're not summer
They're
yet,
going through another hurricane.
Yeah.
Who's shocked?
Yeah, those happen.
Ice caps are melting and then refreezing by the sounds of it.
Yes, so there's more ice now in Antarctica than there was previously. I thought they...
Yeah, apparently, but that's not accurate because they're looking at different information or something.
Well,
it's because the Perry Reese map moved back.
So I was reading or watching an article. They were talking about the ice layers in Greenland.
Yeah.
And there was a plane that went down, I think in 1946, right after the war.
Okay.
And then so they figured out exactly where it went down, and they wanted to go recover this plane. And so they could restore it, because it apparently went down very smoothly and it'd be in perfect condition kind of thing. So they went and drilled ice cores down to it. And they figured, oh, well, based on the number of layers that are supposed to be like tree rings, it's supposed to be like a year per layer. Yeah. It would have been like a 10,000-year-old fucking plane.
Wow, that's impressive.
But like they knew exactly when it crashed. It was like, 70 years ago or whatever that happens to be now.
Yeah.
25, like 75 years ago. So anyways, basically what they're saying is like the whole idea of like using ice core data to figure out the age of something is complete fucking bullshit. Because it's like, no, each of those layers is a different fucking snowstorm. Well, how many snowstorms do you get a year in Greenland?
Well, at least one or two.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not just one annual snowstorm, right? So it's different layers, just like when you have snowfalls in BC, they can say, well, we had snowfall here, it had a crystallized layer, we got some more snowfall here. So you'll have several different layers. But,
what are you pouting about over there?
She watched you pour the last little bit out the bottle. She was like, oh.
Yeah, I knew there was another one. Andrew.
It's okay. There's still lots for you, Leslie. It's okay.
Yeah, but he's greedy.
He's greedy.
He's got a small
Me?
cup.
This thing's tiny.
And she got
Look at my arms.
T-Rex arms there.
Oh, no, I'm not my cup. I've never commented on a woman. or tiny something.
But you just put it down so far away. Like, come
They
on.
only comment on our tiny something.
Those are just
like
little
you-
jokes.
Double standards.
Put it there, and it's like, look at this. You know.
Oh, so am I not allowed any? Thanks.
No.
Yeah, you'd be pass it forward. Pay it forward. With Jay's beverages.
Yeah, we're just about went through a liter.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Anyways, yeah, so there is this plane fully restored. You can actually probably Google it. Almost looks like an AI-generated image because the plane is looking so nice.
So it's a
Restored plane from Greenland. And the plane is now flying. I think there was more than one plane that crashed, and so used one as a parts plane. But
Did they use remote viewers to find this one?
no.
Ooh. The Thule Air Base B-52 crash?
I don't know if it's that one or a different one. Maybe it's a B-52.
No, I think that's something different. Keybird?
I don't know, but it's currently flying.
Destroyed during reach.
I never look at aircraft pictures because it just looks so plain to me.
I know they see so much, and we see so little.
That joke's never going to take
I'm
off.
not giving you a fucking rim shot for that one.
it crashed right there with the beaches.
Yeah, it crashed.
Again, crickets.
P-38 maybe. Under 300 feet of ice in Greenland. Yeah, that looks right.
That's from like 2018, man. That's almost as old as GTA 3. 5.
GTA 3.
that was big, what, Vice City?
I think that was about the same time the
that
pyramids. Yeah, fuck. Vice City. What?
But they've fully restored it, so this is maybe an old article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know.
Anyways, they found the plane, restored it, but the ice cores tell a different story as to, you know, throws it the whole
That's
thing.
how long it's been there, sort of thing.
Yeah, because it would have been like hundreds of years old, thousands of years old, potentially.
But even their carbon dating and stuff like that, they're struggling to actually make
Really kind of
that's
question.
exactly what it is. There's
Well,
such a big gap of what it could be, and they're finding flaws in it.
And they're using circular references. So okay, well, and maybe this is some, you know, Bible thumping years, only 6,000 year old kind of stuff. But so if it's in, or maybe it was the sedimentary layers of rock. And so if it's in this layer of rock, it came from this many millions of years ago.
Yeah.
But then, okay, well, how did you determine that layer is that many millions of years old? Well, because these kinds of fossils are found in it. Okay, well, how did you determine the age of those fossils? Oh, because it's in this kind of rock.
Yeah.
So you kind of get to the catch-22 and the circular reference of it. So I think there's some of that going on. I mean, I'm scratching the surface level here, so maybe they've got concrete data that isn't circular referenced, but I just know a lot of it tends to lead to that kind of an argument.
Kind of, yeah.
So unless you debunk it all, it could be a sliver of hope, and then you can, you know, actually classify those different layers, and maybe there's some truth to it. But question it anyways.
No, it's a good point, right? It's, like you said, question everything. Even the stuff you believe in. Still question it. That's how you get the answers for stuff.
That's where all my theories come from. It's just random shit that pops up, and it's like, but what about this idea?
You are built of just random shit that pops up,
Right?
right? that is everything that you are. It's just random shit.
Getting to vaccines for a little bit. So everyone likes to tout polio, and the polio vaccine is the gold standard for we created a vaccine, eradicated it from the face of the earth, basically. And that all started with polio.
Yeah, but it worked.
But there's been people that are actually open to asking a question and then looking at the data. It's like polio was already on the decline before the vaccine came out, so maybe it was
there was already a lot of natural immunity that was happening because so many people had contracted it.
And the definition of what was polio. So during that course of time, as they were creating the vaccine for it, they discovered other things that appeared to be like polio, but once they developed a test for polio, that wasn't polio. So now your rates are further declining and showing eradication. Because there might have been a whole bunch of other diseases or causes that appeared to be polio. Close enough that we're going to call it polio. Once they developed the test for it, well, now all those other things get ruled out, so it's no longer polio. So then it's like, well, now the vaccine's working extra effective, but it's like, but your data set's not being measured in the same way.
Yeah.
Right. So if you actually apply scientific principles of like, well, if you're using the same standard of measurement, same definitions, well, then you'd end up with a different outcome.
If you died from COVID or died with COVID.
Yeah.
Or just died and they happen to mark down COVID.
Oh, now we got demonetized again.
That was a big
Thought he
push.
was going to cut out.
Well, Jenny was saying she heard of somebody that died in a car crash, and their family got the death certificate.
Yeah,
and
it was marked as a COVID death because they tested positive.
Yeah, but it's like, no, they died because they're fucking, their head hit the windshield or something.
18-wheeler fucking crushed their car.
We actually had a doctor telling us about it, that in hospitals and stuff in South Africa, to bump the numbers and everything, they would say to them that doesn't matter what the person died of. Could be a heart attack, could be whatever. You mark it as COVID.
Yeah, because there's extra money coming to your...
Otherwise, you guys don't get your grant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they did the same thing in North America as well.
Yeah. That was globally. And then now that the WHO has their new power on the world...
Who?
Especially in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to see more of that the next time around.
Thanks, Justin.
But to your point of the numbers being off, with so many things being diagnosed as the same concept. If you think about how many women they diagnosed with hysteria.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was just they having a bad day.
Yeah.
And all the different... So how much of the historical records is actually that accurate? Mm-hmm. Yes, we kept a lot of records, but a lot of them could have been in crayon. And fucking,
Have you looked at census records? There's a reason why people's last names change spontaneously, because the person doing the census couldn't fucking spell it.
Yeah.
Or their handwriting was so atrocious, the person entering it couldn't read it.
Mm-hmm. Or you look up some of the treatments for hysteria.
Uh-huh.
That'll get you some bad Google searches.
A couple double A's, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Pornhub before the 2.0. Yeah.
Sorry,
you're an adult, Leslie. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, the doctors just couldn't put their finger on it.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
I'm surprised you found the button there.
Sorry, I usually don't cure this quick.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, maybe we are a leader in, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
We're not even smoking anything tonight.
So, welcome to our podcast.
So
would you come back again?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you guess?
Yeah, I guess.
You can be our fill-in person for whenever we're missing.
Someone? Yeah.
Whenever we're missing a small town guy, we get a small town girl.
Sure.
Jump
just
in.
a small town girl.
Living
in a
lonely world.
Fucking great harmony, guys.
Someone clip that.
Fuck, that'll be in the thumbnail clip.
Yeah,
that'll be on the reel. Yeah.
It's the preview to the...
Yeah.
And now we all get
We
on
can
the
throw that on
plane.
TikTok.
Tip top.
TikTok, yeah.
Throw that on Tip Top.
It's the new social media platform coming out.
Get working, Andrew.
Not putting this on Red Note because we got a lot of China bashing in this one.
Ooh. Well, we weren't. No, I don't think we were bashing China on this.
No,
one.
not
No,
so
we
much.
got cut out. It's
We're
okay.
friends. We like you.
Yeah, shut down. The pod tracks heard the keywords and like done.
Stop before it could get bad.
Yeah.
What's the president's name there? Xi Jinping? Or no, it's a new guy.
Oh,
I don't know. I think his name is Nihai.
The guy who looks like Winnie the Pooh. That'll get us banned.
yeah. And
No,
now we're
we're
back.
good.
Yeah,
You know, we were doing all right, and you had to fucking fuck it up, Tim.
yeah. That's why Disney doesn't have that character in China.
I take our hat off to them, actually. I mean, US gives them so much shit, and they just take it on the chin.
That's like a bad German video or something.
Oh my god.
2 countries, 1 cup.
Don't Google that shit. I did.
I just heard about it. I never watched it.
So did your friend that told you should come on the podcast, did she actually like check out the podcasts?
No, she said once it's out, send me the link.
Oh, she just wanted like
Yeah.
the link where you're on.
I was like,
it.
has she
Yeah.
previously
Okay.
watched or listened to this?
You want to
No.
do any like shameless self promotion for your like your Twitch channel or anything like that?
I don't have one of those, but I will flex on her because she has a video on YouTube. It's a gaming video and it has like 100,000 views or something.
That's
Holy shit.
Wow.
It's pretty good,
What
and
is
it's
she-
just
what
one
is she-
video.
What
but
game?
What is she
game?
doing?
It was
in the
Lethal
video?
Company. I don't know if
Really?
you ever heard of it, but
No.
No. That's almost as good as or Jenny's video of people skating down the streets of Wolseley.
So
Yeah.
does she get any like monetary value for that, or she doesn't have enough subscribers?
I don't think she has enough subscribers. It was just one video.
That would suck. Can you imagine you got like no subscribers, but you go like 3 million views on a video? And it's like,
on that, you should be able to, you should be able to get connection with YouTube for that.
I thought you had to have a minimum number of subscribers before you could monetize.
There's 3 different tiers or something like that, where you have a certain amount of subscribers,
different percentage of their advertising revenue.
Yeah, so a certain amount of subscribers where you can monetize, or a certain amount of views in a 3-month period.
Oh, okay.
And a certain amount of watch time and so on. So all of that adds to it.
Yeah,
but it's like 1,000 hours, and
she's just over 300 subscribers. But I don't think it's
decent.
Hey, it's better than my 58.
It's 352, but
that's like half to a third of the population of Wolseley.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the rest of Wolseley? Why the hell aren't they on a channel?
They're all old.
Yeah, her most popular video is 100,017. 117,000.
Oh wow!
117,000.
And then the next one is 1,700 views.
Yeah,
so
that's impressive.
I suck with numbers.
The K
it's
at
just
the
me.
end is 1,000.
It's just saying them sometimes.
Feel free to smack him. It's okay.
Well, I was walking through the store today, and I saw a lady who had a Roman numeral tattoo like on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just felt weird because I was trying to do the math as she's walking. I was assuming it was like the year she was born or year.
I'm not staring at you to be creepy. I'm just trying to
read
your tattoo.
I was trying to do the math. I was like, hey, M, that's 1,000, and then like
meanwhile,
C, but it had a bunch more, and it was like, I couldn't get to it.
Yeah, whatever.
Meanwhile, to her boyfriend's name, Ivan.
Yeah.
It's not Roman numerals at all.
Yeah.
Hey, the I and the V might be.
There you go, Jenny. Now you know what I was doing at Costco.
It was 5 and.
Yeah, you're
I
trying
was
to
doing Roman numeral math.
They should start doing Braille tattoos.
You're so
Actually,
smart.
they do have you not watched Wakanda Forever? Don't they have the Braille tattoos? Those guys? Little pebbles underneath the skin. They actually is a form of tattoo that does that.
Yeah.
Micro slits and then throw little rocks.
I loved how they had the Braille.
Oh, they do.
What was that? Major League Baseball did that? MLB did that? Where they had the Braille jerseys?
How
the fuck does that work?
Best seats in the house. Oh, yeah, you got this.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm sure there's a few ladies out in the crowd that be like, I'm blind, let me
let me touch you.
Yeah.
I'm so close I can feel the ball.
Back. Okay, we're good.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah.
Like I said, Leslie, feel free to smack him. It's okay. It's okay. I can't reach him from over here, so.
Yeah.
Speaking about sports ball. There you go. Sports ball. Yeah, sports ball. I don't know. Sports ball. What do we got this time of year? We got hockey still going on. Jets are out.
Fuck, how is hockey still fucking going on?
Because it's hockey. They got to play until July, right?
It's just about fucking June. Like,
well, they play until almost July.
You know, if you take the puck and you make it turn it into a ball, you can play hockey on the grass, right?
Field hockey. Nobody watches that.
Really?
You can still play it.
Or lacrosse.
I don't like it either way, but
lacrosse is pretty cool.
Lacrosse is much better to watch than hockey.
Yeah.
Lacrosse is
way more violence. Way more violence.
Yeah, lacrosse is actually I would not want my kid to play lacrosse just because like holy shit.
Well, if your kid is playing lacrosse,
he's likely to end up in jail.
He's kicking smash. Or at least he can take a beating. One of the other.
One of the two.
He's either handing them out or he's taking them in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a vicious, vicious sport. Which actually is probably very traditional, because didn't the natives invent that?
Yeah. Lacrosse and field hockey were both First Nations sports.
Derived sports. Yeah. That was probably basically like a way of having warfare without killing your neighbor tribe.
Yeah.
That's essentially what sport was.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It was.
And that's why people go and watch it. It's the same as everyone going to go watch the gladiators, everything.
Yeah.
It's for that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Humans as a society,
it's our
crave
dull,
blood and
violence.
I guess gladiators could be considered a sport. I always considered it more of like a form of entertainment. Like
it was, but it was a sport. Gladiators, it was a sport.
Remember, it's like the Olympics. Same thing.
Yeah.
It built off of the same concept. It's all just trying to see who's the best warrior out of everybody.
Well, and then originally the Olympics was competed in the nude, so I just assumed that was like rich Greek women.
Greco-Roman wrestling?
Yeah, you know.
What was the first one called? The Oilers?
There was, speaking of them, I can't remember if we talked about this before. When did the Olympics have the flame? Like, what's the deal with the flame for the Olympics?
Well, originally it was lit with like a sun torch or something, right? Like
Fancy.
They'd hold up like a parabolic mirror and they would, light some twigs on fire and then
Sounds
light a
like
torch from that.
Because apparently the first torch relay didn't begin until 1936.
Was that Germany?
Yeah.
Which
The Summer Games in Berlin.
I can see only from this aspect because Hitler loved like traditional fucking ancient, Greek type mythology and that whole type of thing. So I could see him bringing that back as like, Aryan supremacy and, leveraging that kind of thing. I don't remember it. I wasn't around to watch the Olympics in the 20s. So
because there was the concept of Greek fire. Which they don't know how to.
Well, yeah, but that was
napalm.
Yeah.
Well, they think they know of a similar thing, but nothing that is exactly like what the original recipe would have been. And they had that like you said, that special mirror and all that crap too, doing the lighting of fires.
But that's what I'm saying. The Olympic flame was never a thing until 1936.
Well, in the original Olympics, like in the the Greek times, would have had it. I can see because the Olympics only came around in like 1898 or something, like the modern Olympics.
The Greeks never had an Olympic flame.
Andrew can't accept this. Right?
No. Okay. But what about when did the Olympics start? The modern Olympics, 1898 or something. What's the first modern Olympics?
When did the modern Olympics?
Because I would be fair to say that the modern Olympics...
1896.
I was off by 2 years, so give me a break. I would say it's fair to say that from 1896 to 1936, I can fully support that there may not have been a flame. But in the original Olympics, like 2,000 years ago...
You're really fighting really hard with this.
2,300 years ago. I mean, they would have had to, because, how would you have any night games? You'd have to have a torch somewhere. Yeah. It's like, you literally walk down the street, that's your flashlight. So, I mean, there would have been a torch at some point.
They adapt. Night vision.
Oh.
And they had portable chargers too.
Yep.
Somebody else's.
That's it.
Buffering.
I'm reading.
That's what I say.
I guess that's kind of like buffering.
That's how you know this isn't scripted.
Where are we here?
Looks like it did to me.
36.
Yeah, in the modern Olympics, I could believe 36. But traditionally, I mean, I don't know. Is anybody around back then? They'd have to, write it in a book that they had a flame?
Go back and
well,
check.
the Greeks and Romans had amazing record keeping.
Amazing is maybe an overstatement.
Well,
they had record keeping
for the time
started. Yeah,
for the time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a saying for people that whenever I used to work long hours, and they're like, "You got to rest. You got to, take some time off." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, "Rome wasn't built in a day. They worked at night too."
Had to keep those slaves going.
Yeah, I'm just looking here.
So there's start.
Yeah. I'm looking for the actual information on that. So they did.
AI said it's true.
Oh yeah, AI never lies.
Oh no. Vindication. Thank you, AI.
AI responses may include mistakes.
Mistakes is one word.
All right, let's go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is never wrong.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yay.
Why don't we just switch over to TikTok? I heard
Bunch
there's
of
some good
basement
information.
Oh yeah. Let's search this up on TikTok. There's got to be a video
Actually, I want to see the result of this.
that tells us how this happened.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a short on there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some.
Or what do they call the TikTok videos? I don't know. I'm out of touch with that. They called that's shorts. Is that
Video.
Reels is on Facebook.
Yeah.
The
YouTube
Olympic
shorts.
Okay, so the Olympic torch relay, which transports the Olympic flame from Olympia, Greece, to the various designated sites of the games, had no ancient precedents and was introduced by Carl Diem in the 1936 Summer Olympics.
But AI.
So they had a flame.
Oh, okay.
They had a sacred flame, but the torch relay didn't become a thing until 1936.
Yeah, sounds made up to me.
That's what.
I mean, they would have had a big cauldron.
We're in a simulation. It's all made up.
Yeah. I mean, they had a big cauldron or something that would have had some flames burning.
Yeah, there was a sacred flame.
Okay. That essentially initiated the Olympic Games, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, here's why I would say it probably didn't exist back in the old days, because running with a flame usually puts it the fuck out.
Or...
Well, see...
No, but you look at the...
See, and I don't know, because I look at this now, right? And the first time that a symbolic flame has made its appearance in the Summer Olympic Games was the 1928 Summer Olympics in Amsterdam.
So they probably didn't have a torch relay. They probably just have the sacred flame.
The answer is nobody knows. The answer.
But you see the difference there, right? Like
the difference is it's a fucking Mandela effect, and it changes every time you look it up.
Somebody's remembering something wrong.
No, I absolutely believe there's been,
okay.
But I just think it's a government psyop.
I think it's a bit of both.
I don't
there's
know,
definitely government psyop, and I think there's definitely...
I don't remember Mandela
he doesn't
effects
want to
prior to
disagree with
2012 with the CERN firing up.
He doesn't want to disagree with someone. He's
Oh, no,
on
he'll
the
disagree
side.
with
No,
everybody.
I remember the Bernstein thing prior to that.
Prior to 2012?
Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
Looney Tunes and Looney Tunes.
Yeah, well, I know that one as well. And the Fruit of the Loom thing. I'm pretty sure pre-CERN 2012.
Pre-2012?
Yeah.
The Monopoly guy had a monocle.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that one.
I remember him having a monocle.
Like I used to play that I kind of remember the monocle, but I wouldn't bet my life on it.
I think he just
Berenstain Bears, I will fucking die on that hill.
It's an E. It's an E.
Yeah. That was Steen or Stein. That was my fucking dilemma as a child reading those books.
No, and they keep popping up different versions or different types of things that I've noticed. I can't pinpoint them all now, but I keep now and then somebody's just like, no, that was never that way.
The Fruit of the Loom cornucopia for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I know that word.
Yeah, you even agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a cornucopia.
It did.
Yeah.
Because that's where I learned the word cornucopia.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
How
Thanksgiving, and they would like reference, like the Fruit of the Loom symbol. That's the only other time I'd see those two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Cornucopia and Berenstain Bears.
Do you think it only started happening after CERN? When it created like parallel rift and then you had
I think so.
Merging multiverse theory?
Yeah.
There's no way to tell for sure because if it altered our timeline or our minds, we wouldn't know.
It's a Mandela effect within the Mandela effect.
No, that's the thing, right? And I think it's
blame
kind
it.
of snowballed, so to speak, where you have situations now where, like, we talked about this in one of the other podcasts. Like, Tilly and I have shared memories and shared mismemories.
See, maybe the further away we get from the actual rapture point, the breaking point, the whatever, the more things differ and vary.
Or you've got multiple multiverses overlapping, right? And then so you've got this.
Well, that's your
pattern.
Yeah, that's your multiverse. That's your multiverse theory, right?
Yeah.
Every multiple dimension, every multiverse exists in the same time at the same moment in the same place.
Sliders. Ever see that TV show?
Oh, I love Sliders.
great.
Sliders was great.
Yes.
Too bad that show didn't continue. That was an awesome show.
Yeah.
They never made it home.
Yeah.
Should have made it home. Sorry.
Well, I thought there was an episode where they did make it home, but they were
aggressive.
there for like 30 seconds and they had to jump to the next one.
Oh, could be.
I thought I remember something. Maybe there's a Mandela effect in there.
That's possible too.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I could be wrong on that one. That one I don't remember. I wouldn't bet a Mandela
I wonder if that
effect
was
on
like their final
like in the final
series
season. There was
finale
like
kind of thing.
not even the final episode, but there was like a 30-second thing where like,
Okay, so you guys haven't watched Sliders.
Oh,
You
you're
know
old,
what?
we
Don't
get it.
even start.
do your homework, go look it up.
Oh,
later,
you're
and thank
old.
us.
We get it.
Yeah, great show.
All I can picture is White Castle.
White Castle.
At least
you're
you're
We're
picturing.
not talking about Sliders burgers.
Fuck, I'll give him a dig for that.
At
one.
least he's picturing something.
God, now I'm hungry for a burger. Damn it.
I could go for a slider.
Yeah.
Talking about old shows, do you remember Viper?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Sequest.
That was filmed in Calgary.
I like that car. I always wanted that car. I used to sit sketching out different designs for cars that could just fucking...
Viper, Airwolf.
Yeah.
Airwolf was cool.
Airwolf. Yes, it had the one helicopter with the dome type thing.
Yeah.
Or the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sequest.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
giant
never I remember Sequest. I never got into Sequest with the dolphin with the fucking big brain
strapped on
thing.
with fucking sharks with lasers.
Yeah, sharks with lasers on the freaking head.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm picturing now as Austin Powers with the sharks with freaking lasers.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate that he's such a fucking cocksucker.
Yeah.
guy, well, he was cocksucking with Diddy, I guess.
Fuck.
So, but anyways,
who wasn't?
Airwolf. Yeah, the Cobra. But there we go. I guess so. Yeah. But the Cobra maneuver, the Airwolf one, right?
Oh, yeah,
it goes over the cliff and then fucking hangs back and then shoots the guy coming over top.
Yeah. You're going to hit the brakes and he's going to fly right by.
Yeah.
I hope you've seen Top
Because
Gun.
that came out around the time of Top Gun, right?
What?
Afterwards?
I've seen Top Gun.
Okay. Fuck. I was about to get really upset with you.
Just checking to see if you're paying attention.
More or less. A little bit less than more.
Yeah, you got to wonder what kind of Illuminati stuff that Tom Cruise has gotten into.
I think he.
Is it Illuminati? Is it Scientology?
Still getting into.
Have you seen he doesn't really age much?
Yeah,
I think he
there's a whole
started
bunch-
the Illuminati.
I mean, he did play a vampire.
Yes. Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't an acting.
You've seen how weird he looks without a shirt. There's something weird. It must be a lizard person.
Oh, well, that's possible.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any videos of him blinking sideways yet, but
If he does this, he could.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I don't know. That's
It's 2 hours into it.
yeah, we're over 2 hours. We're talking about Tom Cruise blinking sideways now. I don't know.
And the Queen with her black eyes. God rest her soul.
She didn't have
is Charles
before,
like
she
full
does
lizard
now.
or just half lizard?
Wow, I don't know. Either way, he's
Or is
part
he
of
something
like
totally
the
different?
world elite. I don't know, global cartel of evilness.
Well, the monarchy is all evilness.
Yeah, Victoria wasn't exactly a great lady, but got a whole era in
Were
there.
any of them great people?
I
Fuck.
don't know. Yeah, probably not.
Well, the family thought they were. I mean, they kept loving each other.
I mean, our heritage hates the Edward Longshanks, so I mean, we can't. Anyways, we're gonna end up down another fucking rabbit hole. So, thanks for joining us again for this random bullshit session. Leslie, thank you, awesome. Thank you much for coming out. It was awesome.
Thank you, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Thank you, awesome. Yes.
Thank you, awesome.
Yeah. Okay. We had too much moonshine.
Wow.
We're gonna. Well, you didn't because
Meaning you.
you're part of the new generation. You guys don't drink.
It's just me.
With you.
It's just me.
No, it's all with you.
It's best.
Have
for
you
liver.
met kids
Well, except for
my
the kids
age?
in high school. Shout out to WHS. Anyways, we will hopefully be back in a couple weeks. We'll see how this video turns out. We'll maybe do another one. And keep an eye for us on Spotify, YouTube, Substack, Facebook,
Twitter,
wherever the hell. No, not
X.
Twitter. Fuck that place.
X. Okay.
Anyways,
TikTok, Red Note, maybe.
TikTok.
anyways, we're out. Tim?
MySpace.
Bicycle!
Had to throw it in there. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye!